The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now to my left, we have a man that really needs no introduction, for he is known the world over. It's the one, it's the only, it's Pops.
Yeah, welcome to True School Sports. We're going to talk some boxing, but before we talk boxing, we got to give props to all the veterans that gave their life Memorial Day. I'm a veteran. I support the families. I support everybody else. God bless. And let's hit it with the boxing.
Yeah, so happy Memorial Day to everyone out there. Hope you guys are enjoying your Memorial Day and you enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend this past weekend. We have a great topic in store for today because there's a lot going on with this George Kambosos Devin Haney fight. You know, it's gotten to the point now where I feel like I'm watching rappers beef because we're hearing the words snitch and rat and informant being thrown out.
Are you serious?
You didn't hear?
No, I just seen them I only seen Haney and him go to face, and they were talking to
You didn't see the press conference?
No.
So you don't know anything what was said?
Nothing.
So this is great. So Pops has no clue what was said. So yeah, we'll definitely get into that.
That's a fun night, yeah.
This could be a great live.
Yeah.
Shout out to our man Hoost305. He says, yo, bruh, the description should be physiological war. Should be psychological warfare instead of physiological warfare. And if the fight happens, it will be definitely physical. I got you, Chair. I went ahead and I changed it.
And I appreciate your comment.
Hyro says, equality, man. We are all the same. That's right, Chair.
Amen.
When we all cut, when you cut us all open, we all bleed red. So that's what it is.
Yes,
shout out to anybody just coming in. Make sure you smash that like button. And if you're watching the playback, smash that like button as well.
Support, super chat. Tell what city, what state you guys are from.
There you go. Valor says, thanks for those who gave their lives for our freedoms. Absolutely,
right.
absolutely, champ. You know?
I didn't get my life yet, but I was there.
Haney might get robbed. He needs to win at least 9 rounds to get a 115-113. I think Devin Haney needs to box the fight of his life. And it's going to be difficult with him being on the road, not having his dad, being in Australia. You got a really good fighter in front of you, George Kambosos, who's just oozing with confidence. Very tough fight.
But I'm going to tell you like this. Devin Haney, he's up against it. But you know what? If I was him and I was going to the fight, I would use everything I got right now against me for my motivation to go out there and give Kambosos a tough fight coming. So
look. My dad doesn't know what the hell is going on. He didn't watch the press conference, and that's on him.
I only seen him like this.
No, but you missed the whole point of the live this today about.
Oh wow!
Okay,
you have to break it down to me.
So I'll break it down to you, and for those most of you probably already seen it. So I'll get your guys' take on it.
Dissect it. Yeah.
This is what happened, right? So this is what happened. I'm gonna give my little thoughts on it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So basically, the fighters had the press conference yesterday, you know, and mind you, George Kambosos Jr. had said. And his last couple of fight interviews before fight week even started that he had some tricks up his sleeve for the press conferences and things to get in Devin's head and whatnot.
Mind games.
Mind games, yes, okay. Mind games, right? So the subject of Devin Haney's dad comes up of like him not being able to go get into the country, right?
Oh my!
And then George says, "I don't know how they let Devin into the country. I didn't know they let informants into this country." And then he's like, "And I'll tell you what I mean. This guy is a rat." And he basically revealed that during the Tszyu Lopez fight that Devin was giving George information about Tszyu, about like him physically as a fighter.
Oh shit!
He said apparently he started going into that Tszyu was having problems with his wife and things like that.
Oh,
and then
shit.
So George has flipped it on Devin, where he's like yeah, you know, he went behind his countryman's back. And he told a foreigner what happened. So when he said, so when I beat his ass, when you get off the plane, when you get to the plane in Vegas, he'll have another fight with Tszyu ready for him. So, Pop, what do you think about that?
I think that's fucked up on Devin's part. I mean, what he should have done if the fight ever happened is iron out shit with Tszyu and square off that way. But him being like that makes him look worse now. And I'll tell you why. Because you sat there and you didn't want to fight Tszyu, or Tszyu didn't want to fight you, whatever the case was, but you're sitting here giving information about Tszyu to your enemy that you're going to fight next. And you never trust nobody. You trust yourself, but you never fucking trust anybody.
Yeah, so to be fair...
Oh, my God, Brendan.
Look. George is smart. He's using this to get into Devin's head because to be honest, look, anybody who knows anything about these fighters of boxing knows that this shit is common. You know, fighters go to the gym when they spar and they give guys information. That shit happens in all the gyms.
So you're telling me other fighters go and send other fighters to give them an edge?
No, I'm saying that if fighter A is fighting fighter B and he knows a fighter that spars fighter B, he'll ask fighter B questions and things about him. And most of the time, or in some cases, the sparring partners for these fighters, if they know the other fighters, they'll give. It happens.
Listen, man.
The only difference here is that George Kambosos Jr. is using what Devin has done for his own personal psychological warfare, which I think is a smart tactic.
And let's be honest, and this is, like I said, boxing is about life. And what Haney just did is taught him a lesson. You don't fucking trust anybody but your fucking self. Because when you tell people everything about you, they're going to fucking turn on you when it comes to their advantage. And that's what fucking Kambosos is doing. Kambosos is going to whoop your fucking ass because you gave him secret evidence that you shouldn't have done. And I'm pissed off because you should never have done that. Integrity is the main thing. But because you fucking did that, now it's using it against you and blackmailing you. You never tell people everything. Even your friends, your best friends, anybody, you don't tell your secrets.
I'm gonna cut you off, Pops, okay? To be fair, right? To be fair, George isn't exactly innocent either because, you know, like Valor greatly pointed out, to be 100, Kambosos trained with Pacquiao to help him prepare to fight his own countryman, Jeff Horn. So he's on the same shit too.
Okay, but it's good for the good, it's good for the agenda. But I want you all to take out of this example is when you have friends, best friends, whatever you have, never tell them everything about yourself because there's gonna come one time.
It's gonna turn into some life lessons.
Yeah, it's gonna come one time. We're gonna use every information you gave them to stab you behind your back, and this is what happened now. Haney got blackmailed.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's gonna be.
Do you think
you didn't tell me that shit? I didn't see it.
It was in the press conference. All you had to do was watch the press conference. That's all you had to do. Everybody been talking about it for 24 hours. I don't know why you didn't hear about it. Oh, wow. Anyway, David says, you think Kambosos can stop Haney or at least drop him? And if he does, the LDBC channels will go crazy. I definitely think he can. I definitely think George has the physical strength to hurt and to hurt Devin Haney. We see Devin Haney get hurt plenty of times. He's a very, very good fighter, but like we know that with Devin, like sometimes he'll be in a Philly shell, sometimes he'll go to a regular guard, and sometimes he does a little bit too much and has lapses at times. It's not very often, but if you're someone who has great conditioning going into the back half of fights and you can throw volume punches and you can, and if you have timing, which George does, you can do that. And I think George has gotten stronger since he won the title. He's even said himself, he's made it a focal point of his, since he beat Tszyu, he said he made it a focal point to work on his strength. I told before that even came out of his mouth, I told you. I said George is working on becoming a stronger as far as physically strong, and that's what he's done. So I do think George can hurt Haney. You know, I think Devin can outbox George. We'll see. To me, I really truly believe, guys, and shout out to all 18 of you here. I really truly believe that because of the timing of this fight and the circumstances in which this fight is happening, this is one of the best fights boxing's produced in years.
Another one.
Yeah, like one of the top, because you got George Kambosos Jr., who really, truthfully, like mindset-wise, top-notch, like one of the top, strongest minds in boxing, right? And, you know, hold on, guys. I got sidetracked. Hold on.
I'm sorry. It's not about you guys.
Oh, it's not you guys. It's something else.
My wife laughing her ass while we can hear her from here.
Anyway, George Kambosos Jr. has one of the strongest mindsets in boxing, and he's one of these guys that you get the sense that like when he wins a title, he's the kind of fighter that does get 10 to 27% better because he doesn't work less hard. He works harder than he did when he beat Lopez. And then you got Devin, who, you know, he's got all odds against him, but he's someone that's been told he's been great since he was yay high. So now all the hype we've been hearing about Devin since before he was even pro, from when he was an amateur, he's got to validate it all now. Like this is what we're going to see. Is he going to be that big-time fighter? Is he going to be that, you know, undisputed champion? Or is he just going to be a very good fighter? Because there's a difference between very good and great. SMD says, Devin is going to be the brakes off him. If you're betting against him, you dumb as fuck. It's a 50-50 fight. It can go either way. You know, it can go either way. We'll see what happens. I like Devin. I think Devin has the skills to outclass George if he puts it all together. but I also can see this going very bad for Devin Haney if he ain't on his P's and Q's. To me, if Devin were a bit more older and had a bit more top level experience, I would say, okay, yeah, I probably favor Devin. But reality is he doesn't, and these are much different circumstances than anything he's ever faced. So,
and going along with that is, like BT said, this has been an uncomfortable situation that Devin is going into. He's always had his dad there whether you guys want to see it or not. I don't care if it's no disrespect to Judah's father, Judah. Yeah, no disrespect to him and everything, but Judah is not the voice that he always hears behind there, and it's going to be a big thing.
To be fair, though, Yoel Judah, right? Because Yoel Judah is now Devin Haney's trainer for this fight. Shout out to Enrique Luna and Jesus Sam and Nosy Rosie and everybody here.
Shout out,
what I can say is Yoel Judah is probably one of the best guys they could have had for this job, because Yoel Judah, many years ago when his son fought Corey Spinks for the undisputed title at welterweight, Yoel Judah was the same guy that led his son in a very hostile crowd on the road in St. Louis. You know, they weren't the hometown fighter. They had to go to Corey Spinks' backyard and take the title from him. So Yoel Judah has been through something similar to this before. The stage is much bigger because now it's you're talking 50,000 seat stadium, a whole other country, a whole crazy different time zone, and probably a lot more eyeballs on the fight than that fight.
But can I just ask you a question based on your experience? Has Judah been around while Haney's been training to get? He's
his godfather.
So he's
not a stranger. No. He's grew up since Devin when Devin was a kid, so he knows Devin. It's not like they just pick the guy off the street. No. Yoel Judah knows Devin, so it's not like they're gonna.
And Devin understands him and everything, so it's not just like you say. Let me pick ABC from here. This guy's been there watching me mold him, what he's done for him and everything.
Yeah, here you go, Corbin. I remember you, Corbin. You were the one crying about Devin for like a whole life.
Yeah,
the Emperor. Y'all really believe that? He calls himself that. I didn't say I believed it. We're gonna see Saturday what happens. I don't have a dog in the race. I like George. I like Devin. I just want to see a good fight. All I'm here to do is just talk about the first press conference that took place yesterday, where George went to the deepest of darkest places and is calling Devin Haney an informant, a snitch.
And I'll go along with that. We really haven't heard a lot from Devin since this whole fight was going on until yesterday. So kudos to him. He stayed out of social media. He stayed out of everything. He did what he had to do. So that's good. That tells us he's dedicated for the fight. But for me, I love Devin. I love American fighters and everything. I just think it's too much on his plate at this time. I don't think he's experienced enough. I'm going for Kambosos.
To win the fight?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll see. I honestly, if anybody asks me a prediction, I ain't making no predictions this week. I'm actually just gonna watch this fight. I'm just gonna take it in because I really feel like
you're neutral stamp.
Devin.
No,
I don't know both of them. I met both of them. I don't know them.
No, you don't know them, but you know the trainer, Javier Centennial.
Yeah,
and at the same time, you good buddies.
That's don't mean shit.
So I get that. But for me, I take the experience here for me, who's done the bigger fights, who's done everything more, who's traveled over the place to get where he's at. It's Kambosos. I'm running with the Australian Emperor.
Dandara, what's good, champ? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Let me see. We gonna see? We're gonna see, Corbin. I think look, if Devin wins this fight,
who's he want to win?
He wants Devin to win. If Devin wins this fight, there's like legit nothing anybody could ever say
bad about, even me.
About. In fact, fuck winning, just for Devin even going to the land down under, going to Australia against all odds with everything not in his favor, he already gets respect for that.
Takes less money, has to fight him twice in the rematch clause, going over across the pond to fight somebody in Australia with a loud, boisterous people in Marble Stadium. He's got a lot against him. Not having his dad there, not having his other trainer there, he's got a lot. But if I was Devin, I would use all that motivation to get myself a victory. I just think it's too much for the young buck. I'm going with Kambosos.
You do know he's a betting favorite, right, Devin?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. I'm still going with Kambosos because Kambosos has been underdog for so many years, and he proved everybody wrong. And he's going to do it again. What
did he snitch about? I came late. So basically, this is the rundown. Pretty much, if you're just tuning in, shout out to everybody. Smash the like button, subscribe for new. George Kambosos Jr. pretty much stated that Devin was giving him information about Tszyu in the lead up to the Tszyu fight. So he's the way he's framing it is that Devin went behind his countryman's back and gave a foreigner information about whatever was going on at that time. Now, I'm not gonna say no names, but it's not surprising to me because I know people around Devin's team that were talking to George around that time. Okay, so it's not out for a possibility. It didn't surprise you to the least. The Dada says, "Damn, an informant gossiping about another man to his opponent SMH. That's like someone talking shit to me about a girl I'm trying to shag."
Call what you want. You just can't trust everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and he was doing all this just because he wanted to get the fight. So, hey, Devin really wanted to fight for that damn belt. So, hey, you give him that. You can't say he didn't want to fight.
You see that video when Kambosos knocked the shit out of Tszyu and Devin and his dad went crazy.
Yeah. So
that tells you all what you need to know.
This is why I keep saying, man, like, the American fighters gotta stick together, man. Because like Dada says, he said Tszyu was his countryman. He won the U.S. trials. He did win the trials, but they had calls. Balderas picked. He got screwed. He had to represent Honduras. We know the story with that.
Right.
It's not cool. It's not cool. But you know what? It really has no effect on the fight come Saturday, unless the only way it has an effect on the fight Saturday, unless Devin lets it get into his head. If Devin lets it get into his head, then it's gonna take him off of his path, and he's not gonna be able to think, and he's going to make the wrong decisions in the ring. So this is a great test for Devin. Does Devin let this knock him off of his pivot, or does Devin use this as motivation and focus and box the fight of his life?
I will say it again.
That's what he's going to need to beat Kambosos out in Australia.
I will say it again. With your best friends, relatives, you never give all your information about anything because it's going to come back someday and stab you in the back. That's a lesson in life, and boxing teaches you about life. I honestly think Kambosos is good at playing mind games. He did it with Tszyu. Tszyu was all fucked up, and whatever else he had going on. And I think this will affect the fight. I don't think that Devin has enough strong money enough to block that off, and I think it's gonna be tough for him with all the obstacles going on.
Why do you think Devin is not strong-minded enough?
I just don't feel. I don't think.
Why?
I'm telling you why. I don't think he's experienced enough to show me.
He's got 27 fights.
Doesn't matter. He's not. What he's going through right now, he's never experienced.
He's fought at the MGM Grand.
Don't fucking matter.
He's all USA. The biggest venue.
USA. He never left Mama and Papa's house over here from the across the pond to go across the other pond and do it without his dad not being there sucking his thumb or vice versa. It's a lot of things going into this fight that he's got to deal with, and I think it's too much for him. Kambosos did the right thing, stabbed him in his back, and hopefully Devin Haney from now on shut his fucking mouth and don't give too much information.
Okay. Egalitarian 207 says Devin Haney.
But I wish you the best, though. I ain't hating on Devin. I'm just telling you. It's a lesson in life. I learned it. I trusted people so much. I did the same thing, and a lot of things came back and stabbed me in my face. That's what I learned now. I stay to myself and I stay quiet. I only talk to you because I love you.
Yes, and I'm not going to snitch on my dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Egalitarian says Devin Haney hates Tszyu Lopez. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's why he went the route he did.
Right, but that's why it comes back again. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. I don't talk to nobody anymore about nothing. I don't talk to my son. My son will correct me and tell me. I don't talk to nobody.
That's kind of here nor there. There was bad blood. Tszyu was playing games with them. Yeah, it all goes back to the whole, WBC franchise. Are you undisputed? Are you not undisputed? Nonsense. That type of thing. Valor says no mobster here, straight civilian. But if Haney snitched to Kambosos to Tszyu, is Kambosos also snitching now by revealing it? Just a civilian. That's a hell of a question. Now look, there's an old saying that I like. It says all is fair in love and war. So look, you could call him a snitch if you want, but George, my perspective of it is I think George is just using it to try to knock Devin off of his pivot. I don't think George really gives a fuck that Devin gave him information. I think George is just using it because, I interviewed George Kambosos Jr. The week, 5 days, literally. I interviewed George Kambosos Jr. the week of the Haney Diaz fight at the MGM Grand, the video where he was running on the treadmill. And I asked George because I heard his dad say in an IFL TV interview that George reads a lot of books on psychological warfare. He's read the very popular book, by Sun Tzu, The Art of War. So I asked George about that. And I asked him, when he read these books like The Art of War, was there any particular part of these passages that stood out to him? And when I asked him this question, his response was that war is deception.
That's right.
So You got like right now, if you like right now, just by me even doing this live, and by if Devin plays into that, if it has even a 0.001% effect on Devin, that's what George is trying to do. He don't give a fuck that he gay. I really don't think he cares.
And I'm gonna bring this real to light in real life right now. I'm not taking sides on either side, but just like you said, worst deception. Not to hate the Russians, not to hate the Ukrainians and anything is. Look what Putin is doing against the Ukrainians. He's doing a lot of deception. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. People are afraid because he might have a nuclear war. People, this is that. It's all deception. The same thing is when you go into a good game. If you can get into the mind of your enemy, you already got to the weakest point of his mind.
It's like when Michael Jordan told Muggsy Bogues, "You fucking midget."
Yeah.
Muggsy Bogues stop playing well.
So that right there. If you get up here, you already won half the battle right here.
Michael Manning, shout out to him. He says, great video on Magia earlier, man. I love to keep pulling these dudes' cards. Listen, man, there's a lot of guys in boxing whose cards we pulled over the years. I'm gonna tell you guys this, man. I'm not all the way there yet with Andre, okay? I'm not all the way there yet. I'm just waiting to see how things play out. If he can't get the fights with the guys he mentioned in his recent interviews, such as Benavidez, Plant, Charlo, if he can't secure those fights, and then he refuses to fight Johnny Beck, I'm gonna have a lot to say. If he fights one of those guys and doesn't fight Johnny Beck, I'll be okay because those are big fights that are gonna take him to the next level. But he needs to fight either one of them guys, and if not, then you know Johnny Beck's there. He has to November 17th to fight him, or he'll lose a belt. If for whatever reason, if he maneuvers his way out of all those situations, I'm gonna have a lot to say.
And this is why I tell you guys all the time. You might say BT is biased about his fighters and everything like that. But he's telling you right now, if fucking Andre doesn't do what he's supposed to do, he's going to call him out.
Dundada says, I'm not even talking about the fight, man. I guess Kambosos was right. Devin is a kid. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is.
I mean, he's
shout out to you, Carl. Good to see you, champ.
Carl, Kambosos, baby, all day, Carl. God bless you and your daughter from Australia.
Corbin says, American fighters do need to stick together. That's true. But also, Tia wasn't acting T America when he was fucking Devin around a fellow countryman. And he chose a foreigner. Well, no, he didn't choose a foreigner. He had an IBF mandatory that got postponed and then had to get rescheduled. It's a little bit of a different situation, but I get where you're coming from. Devin didn't really like Devin wanted the fight, but just due to circumstances, the fight didn't happen because they were supposed to fight. I believe it was in April of last year, and then it was June. It got rescheduled a couple times. So Devin got fucked because of it got rescheduled a couple of times. But yeah, either way, I was there. Like, you don't gotta tell me about Tio. Like, I was there in the gym with Tio when him and his dad were yelling at Mickey Bay. I was there. If you go back and remember, if you watched the video with Mickey Bay and his dad arguing, I was there. And I remember when he was there talking about beating up and sparring and all these things. So I know what the energy was like at that time. You don't gotta refresh my memory, but hopefully at some point, look, whether Devin wins this fight or loses this fight, hopefully at some point, for the sake of boxing, those two guys' paths can cross because we need that fight. We need that fight. Jesus M asks, BT, what are your thoughts of AJ going Robert Garcia supposedly? That was going to be my live later on, probably in the week. But personally, look, Robert Garcia is a good trainer. I like Robert Garcia. But Robert Garcia, to my knowledge, and you guys can refresh my memory because I'm more than okay being corrected. I don't really think he's trained heavyweights. Like, he's trained a lot of aggressive come forward fighters, which is it makes sense. AJ wants to be more aggressive and come forward against Usyk, so he got a trainer that has his fighters normally do that. But the guy, to my knowledge, doesn't have much experience training heavyweights. And if he does, I know it ain't no like at the top level, like big championship level heavyweights. So for me personally, if I was AJ, I think that out of all the guys we know he visited, because we know he visited like Ronnie Shields and Virgil Hunter and I guess Robert Garcia, I would have went with Ronnie Shields, a guy that's been there and did it, has experience training in big heavyweight fights, has a proven track record of training heavyweights and being successful at it. So, hey, it is what it is, but he picked them for a reason.
I got somebody better than that.
When I'm not talking about guys that you have better, I'm talking about the guys he visited, the guys that were actually on his radar.
I understand that, but I'm still going to call it the guy that I feel is the most qualified guy. It's like one of the best heavyweights in boxing. I'm going to say it again, Stacey McKinley.
Yeah, but Stacey about Trey Bryan. He ain't worried about no damn.
I understand that, but I think that would be the most experienced guy that would have been good for him.
Okay. Well, I'm some of the guys that
I know. You're saying the people that he called out.
The people that he actually visited. He didn't visit no damn Stacey McKinley.
No,
because Stacey McKinley, when I interviewed him, he said he loved to train AJ. But
yeah, but I mean, so you're saying that Shields has a lot of experience with heavyweights.
Yeah, Holyfield, I believe. I think someone said David Tua.
Okay,
a couple guys.
Okay,
so it is what it is. It doesn't mean what it used to mean. These guys have talked so much smack about each other. You can't think it has anything to do with the country. That's true. I mean, it's not that deep. It's not that deep, especially in the age of social media where everybody runs their mouth and nobody does anything. Kambosos don't even know the definition of being a rat. It don't make sense. Oh. It's up for interpretation. Haney only needs to stay behind the jab and let Kambosos try to throw a flurry at the end of rounds. We'll see, man. The thing is, look, I think this fight to me, and I think Boxing Gem summed it up in a great way. I'm gonna just paraphrase. I'm gonna paraphrase what he said in his little film study video. Not his. I'm not gonna say little. His big film study video. Okay. This fight to me is it's elite reflexes. Devin being the guy with the elite reflexes versus the elite timing. George has the elite timing. If you go watch George's fights, whether it be against Mickey Bay, Selby, which by the way, neither one of those fights. Well, no, Bay, Selby, and Lopez, right? He displayed great timing in all those fights, plenty of times. The only guy who really deserved a split decision in any of those 3 fights was Mickey Bay. Tszyu and Selby should have lost by UD, but if George can time Devin, he's got a chance, and I think he'll have a chance to because as good of a technical boxer as Devin is, Devin's not really someone that throws a ton of feints. So when Devin commits, he's letting his hands go.
Mm-hmm. Going to reiterate that question again, which is better to have timing or to have what's the other thing you say?
Speed or reflexes?
Yeah, which one is better out of the 3 to have? To combat. You're saying that Haney has this, right? Well, he has speed and power, you say?
Reflexes.
Okay, reflexes. Is timing better to have that to win the fight? Depends. I'm not telling you to predict it.
Depends. It depends who has what.
Right.
Because if a fighter, I won't even use names. Yeah. If a fighter has elite feints with elite reflexes, then I think that can offset the guy with the elite timing. Okay. It all depends on who has it and what they're bringing to the table with it. There really is no one size fits all answer. But if you have great timing, that's always a great attribute to have.
So you won't know until you get into the fight.
You won't know until you actually get in that ring. So we'll see. Boo Boo is dangerous, close, and may have already be there in the duck category, but the narrative has long since been he gets ducked. Nobody wants to fight him. Nobody does want to fight him, but what I'm saying is, and I love Andrade, so this isn't fun for me to say, but if you can't get those big fights, because I know he wants to go to 168, and I heard the interview. He didn't sound excited about the prospect of fighting Johnny Beck, but the reality is, the way the landscape is, you're probably not going to fight Benavidez because Samson wants a lifetime money. He wants lifetime alimony for you to fight him to start negotiating.
Right.
Okay. Caleb Plant, I think Plant would take the fight, but I don't think his manager would. And on top of that, I don't think Caleb Plant's going to go and fight a guy like Andrade after he just lost a big fight to Canelo. I think he's going to go the Anthony Dirrell route. And then, who else? Charlo?
Yeah.
We already know the deal with that. Andrade called out Charlo years ago at his press conference when he beat Julian Williams at 154. And Jamal Charlo said, "I'm not a matchmaker, bro."
No, but a lot of that is because they said that I don't know which Charlo supposedly.
Jamel. When Andrade fought Jamel, there was a miscommunication between Star Boxing, Banner Promotions, Showtime Boxing, and Team Andrade over some money. The fight was never fully signed. That's why there was never a press conference for it. Everybody says, "Oh, he ducked Jamel." You can't duck a fighter for a fight that's not signed.
Okay.
They were supposed to. Now they were supposed to fight on the Amir Khan Devin Alexander undercard. It didn't happen because there was miscommunication over money. When all that happened, Jamel Charlo wasn't willing to renegotiate to fight at the time who was the champion. Andrade was the champion. Jamel wasn't the Jamel we know today. He was a random contender like anybody else who was promising. Okay, yeah. He didn't want to renegotiate with Andrade after the fight got quote unquote postponed. The same way he renegotiated with Tony Harrison when their second fight got postponed. So keep that same energy.
So basically, when people say the Charlo, they need to clarify which Charlo, how it happened.
Yeah,
when it was. Okay.
So we'll see. But I'm just saying, nothing's bad has happened yet. I'm just saying with the way he's talking, with the way the landscape looks, I'm getting myself mentally prepared to go off on Andrade, which I don't want to do.
But
But I have to be fair.
Gotta be true.
Yeah. Fuck Eddie Hearn. He's a good used car salesman in the UK. I'm sorry, but Bivol needs to fight Zotto Ramirez. How many title eliminators does he have to fight? Bivol can't be doing another voluntary against Craig Richards. And yeah, Harold. That's how
I know.
I want to see that fight
Shout
too.
out my manager.
Yeah.
I like Harold. Yeah.
Merlin19 says, I'm going to say this. A true sign that someone is nervous is when they start acting. I'm not sure who wins, but Haney is looking comfortable in Australia. George is putting on an act. George is not putting on an act. He's literally acting the same way he acted in the Lopez fight. I don't know why everybody keeps saying he's acting. Like, did y'all watch the Lopez press conference? He sounded deluded as fuck during the Lopez press conference.
Yeah.
He sounds the same way now.
And he's bringing it. I'm respecting your opinion.
Let's not forget, Devin is only 23. He's not even in his prime yet. You can see the growth as the competition gets better. Absolutely. And that's why this fight really intrigues me, because we're going to see if Devin can rise to the occasion. Now, Devin is 23, but you can't really call his 23 the same as like other fighters 23. He's got 27 pro fights at 23 years old. He's fought in Mexico. He's the only fighter in the lightweight division that's fought on all the networks. He's fought on Showtime. He's fought on DAZN, and now he's fighting on ESPN. He's already a multi-million-dollar fighter at 23 years old. So his 23 ain't the same as other 23. He may be 23, but he's really gone through more of a career arc of a guy who's already like 28, 29. Now, someone asked me this recently. I think it was Hiro yesterday when I was talking to him. He asked me if George Kambosos Jr. beats Devin Haney, which is going to be very tough for him, is he the best fighter in Australian boxing history over Kostya? Is he better than Kostya Tszyu? He didn't ask in Australian history. He just said better than Kostya Tszyu, right? Mm-hmm. So I told him, I don't know, but I said maybe this could be a Zab Judah fight, right? So what I did was, right, I went on BoxRec and I looked at Zab Judah versus Kostya Tszyu when they fought. So Zab Judah was 27-0 when he fought Kostya Tszyu. Do you know what Devin Haney's record is right now?
27-0?
Yep.
Oh shit!
So look, I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that means he's gonna win. I'm just saying I found it really ironic how, you know, a guy that was one of the, I know he's Russian, right? I know Kostya Tszyu is Russian, but you know he moved to Australia and whatnot. So he's not full Australian or whatever. But you get my point. Like, it's the same thing. A young, undefeated Black American fighter with a lot of hype behind him, i.e. Zab Judah, fighting a guy from Australia. The American fighter had the same record as, you know.
Yeah. It's
nobody. I haven't heard nobody mention that, but it's just a little fact.
Yeah,
it don't mean anything, but it's just something cool to know. I think Plant and Benavidez would easily take the fight, but Al Heyman won't let it happen. Well, my thing is this, right, Dandada? We can only blame the fighters, right, or the managers and the handlers so long. At the end of the day, like, these guys are the handlers of said fighters are an extension of the fight. They are the representatives of the fighter. So at some point, look, Plant, Benavidez, whoever is in the Andrade weight classes, they really want that fight. They can't just kind of want it. Yeah. This isn't one of them opponents where you can just kind of want it and they're going to give it to you. No.
Right.
You're going to have to really put your foot down and say, look, I'm not going to fight anybody. You go get me this fight.
That's it.
Otherwise, you know, I'll sit out. I'm good. Because Plant got money. Plant don't need to box. Plant just made $10 million fighting Canelo. You know, Benavidez has made pretty decent money in his career. You know, if these guys really want to make it happen, they'll make it happen. You know?
Yeah.
But in the event that they don't want to make it happen, all I'm saying is, if Andrade's only option becomes to fight Johnny Beck and he doesn't fight him, I'm telling you guys, if you guys think I've gone off on Canelo, if you think I've gone off on Charlo, if you think I've gone off on any of these fighters you think I hate, just wait, because it's one thing when I don't really like you as a fighter. It's another thing when I have a high opinion of you,
and you for years,
and I've been on your side for years, and then you make me look like a fool, because now I'm gonna really take offense to that. So I'm just saying.
And to swing back to Haney, his dad said we waited 15 years to go to our journey to get to this. So I don't think that Haney's going to come down full easily either. I just think you got too much pressure on him. Yeah,
absolutely. Yoel Judah is a guy you want in your corner. Ben Davison, not so much. I agree with your sentiments that it was a positive that he will not be there. That's the best thing. Ben Davison not being. People aren't talking about this enough. We got to start talking about this.
Is he that bad?
Ben Davison.
What do you like about him while I was teaching?
He doesn't know what the.
No, I just want to know what. To explain to your subscribers.
I'm going to explain. Okay, so let me explain in a respectful way, because I don't want to disrespect Ben Davison. This is a guy that is dedicating his life to learning the craft of boxing. And who knows? He's a young trainer now. Maybe he will one day, in time, go into a really great trainer. Pretty much, yeah.
So he's not.
Might even be below.
Okay, so what
he might even be below.
So what you're saying one day he doesn't know how to give clear instructions.
No, he knows how to give instructions. It's just that his instructions are the same no matter who he's fighting. Like no matter what
Fury and everything.
Listen, no matter who he's training, what the fuck is happening in the fight, who the opponent is, the instructions are always the same.
What do you say?
Don't get greedy and use a jab.
He says all
That's all he would tell Devin the whole fight. If Devin, let's just say if George Kambosos Jr. lit Devin up with a big ass combination and had him stunned or something, he gonna tell him don't get greedy, use the jab.
Oh my god!
So that's what I'm saying. His chances of winning the fight. When I heard that he's not going to be there, Devin Haney's chances of beating George Kambosos went up 10 to 15%.
So he's basically. So what you in terms of what you're telling me is that basically, no disrespect to what's the name again, from the UK, the trainer Davis.
Ben Davison.
Ben Davison. No disrespect to him, but basically what he's saying is, from the last statement you're saying is just go jab you all the way to the fight, and you're gonna win the fight with jabbing.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
1, 2, 3. My main man from Kazakhstan, he says,
"Yeah, Kazakhstan.
Hey, True School, long time no see. Johnny Beck can be considered as a boogeyman 100%. Well, look, we're not. In my opinion, we're not 100% there yet. But, well, actually, no, we could say that, or not 100%, but we can say he is a bit of a boogeyman right now because Munguia had a chance to fight him. He didn't want no smoke. Andre still has that chance to fight him. It's just okay when because in my opinion, I hope I'm wrong, but in my opinion, it's inevitable. Them 3 guys he called out in that interview, Plant, Charlo, Benavidez, for one reason or the other, whether it be them, the promotional company, whatever. They're not going to fight him. They're not going to put a fight together. And he's going to be tasked with fighting Johnny Beck. And he has to make a decision. Fight him and maintain reputation or, you know.
Yeah, and I see two things different about the Andre situation. One, respect to Johnny Beck. He's been calling him out for years. How long have you been calling him out for?
Yeah. For
years, Andre can go ahead and fight him and shut his mouth up. And 2, Andre's looking at it. What is there for me in beating him? How is that gonna help me to get the other bigger fights with a name like Johnny Beck on my resume?
Yeah. Now the Dud's asking these right questions, all right? And I want to really address this. He says, "Damn BT, did you get rid of all your henchmen, aka the wrenches?" Yeah, I did. I had to get. Now I'm gonna say this real quick. I had to get rid of everybody with a wrench, right? Because yesterday I had one of my favorite subscribers who saw him, the fanboy killer. He messaged me yesterday. He was like, "BT, did you block me?" I said, "Absolutely not. Why would I block you?" So he said he was blocked. He said he was trying to come on the channel and do whatever and comment. And he couldn't comment. So I checked to see if he was blocked. Turns out he was. So I didn't know. Well, I know who blocked him. Then I talked to him. But then I was going through all the people that were blocked on the channel, and I started noticing like people that were like consistent viewers that were blocked,
that were loyal to
the channel. So I didn't have the time, energy to care about who the fuck it was. I just said, you know what? Nobody's getting a wrench for like at least a couple months. So that's what happened, you know. But Merlin one says, BT and Pops, I disagree. George's energy after the Lopez fight, he was humble and respectful. Now he's doing this fake mobster act. The pressure was embarrassing for him. But the thing is, he was the same level of intent at the Lopez fight. Go watch the Lopez fight presser. It's very similar.
No, I disagree with you on that point because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm going to get at this. Lopez ran his mouth, did everything he wanted to do, and kept doing it when he was a top dog. So why can't Kambosos do the same thing when he's about to be? He is a top dog with most of the belts, and he's about to fight Devin Haney. No disrespect to Devin Haney and them. But I'm saying he has every right to do to talk shit just like anybody else. He's due that respect, and he's gonna get it.
Yeah. Did Ben Davison even start his career off of boxing? I from what I know, look, I don't know a ton about Ben Davison. I've heard he was an amateur fighter before. Maybe I heard that wrong, or maybe I heard that right. I don't know. But from what I know, okay, from what I heard basically that he was just the guy that got Tyson Fury back in shape. When he was going through his whole depression thing, and he did a great job of that. Tyson Fury said that he could be his trainer if he went and go. They were in a hotel apparently, and there was these beautiful women in the hotel lobby. So he said, "You need to go over there and you need to go ask those girls for the numbers." And Ben Davis looked at him crazy, like, "What do you mean go get the numbers?" And he was like, "Yeah, you need to go get the numbers because if you can't go get the numbers, then you don't have the minerals to be my trainer." Those are the Fury's words. And then he did it. I guess he got the numbers and he became his trainer and. Trained Billy Joe Saunders as well. So he got a pretty good start in boxing. He trained Fury first. Then he trained Billy Joe Saunders. So you got two established guys. Then he trained Josh Taylor, and then he won the undisputed title with him. And that's what it is. But like, I still think he's got a lot to work on as a trainer. You know, I just think his tactics are too conservative. I'm not saying it's bad to be a conservative coach. It's just like you got to recognize moment by moment what's going on in a fight. And sometimes I think that part of him is still lacking. So, you know, best wishes to him. I'm not wishing bad on him. I just think right now it's better for Devin that Ben Davison isn't there. That Judah to Kostya comparison is interesting, especially with Yoel Judah in the corner. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like it's life is weird. Like Devin has literally don't just go by what I'm saying. Check it for yourself. Go on Kostya's box rec right now. Go look at what his record was when he fought Zab, or what Zab Judah's record was when he fought Kostya. Go look at Devin's record right now. It's the same thing.
That's crazy.
You mentioned, yeah. And the crazy thing is that Yoel Judah just happens to be in the corner while Devin has the same record as George as Zab Judah, you know? So it's like, it's crazy. We'll see what happens, though. Doesn't mean anything. We see. I knew it. Ben is a conditioner. What does that mean?
But basically what you're saying, that he doesn't know how to give good instructions in the corner.
Yeah. I think so. I don't think neither guy's energy has changed. George is still a cool, smooth trash talker, and Devin is acting like a upcoming young man talking trash. Yeah. I don't think it's any different. I think people have this is what I think. I think like a lot of boxing fans have their biases. Like they may like Devin for one reason or the other, or they might like George for one reason or the other, or they may hate one of the fighters for one reason or the other. So they can't really see straight. That's why like you can't be angry when you talk about this boxing stuff, because when you're angry, you can't see straight.
And what's funny about this whole thing, when the fight's over and everything, a lot of fighters say after the fight and everything's done, and we're just trying to sell the fight.
Yeah.
So that's what, I look at it that way too, with open-mindedness.
123 says Falcao is chasing the IBF title. It's highly likely that GGG will be vacating all his belts. Yeah, to go fight Canelo. That makes sense. If the Johnny Beck fights for the vacant, is Falcao fighting for? Is he ranked higher? Now he'll fight for the IBF, like 123 said. If we talk about coach, we must say that Buddy McGirt did a tremendous job with Johnny Beck. Johnny Beck is going to be undisputed, especially with the help of Buddy McGirt. Hey, he can be undisputed, but 123, I don't think he'll beat Andrade. But then again, that will require Andrade to fight him. And based on what I heard in that last interview from him,
you don't feel like
I don't really feel too encouraged about it, because he was like he just shot the shit down.
So my whole point
he shot it down. He was like, would you rather me fight him or the big names? Now, obviously, I would rather him fight the big names because he's 35 years old. He needs to fight the big names. But you are the WBO middleweight champion. You have been for a long time, as my main man Fresh BX once eloquently stated in the comments.
Yeah,
the 10th longest reigning middleweight champion of all time.
I'll tell you what you got to do, Brendan. To be honest, this is between you and me, and I'll put it out there. I think you need to call Paul Andre. You got his phone number.
Yep.
Call his father and tell him how you really feel, and tell him what the deal is, and then get back to your subscribers to see what he tells you.
Yeah, we'll see. BT, Kambosos is a hypocrite for calling Haney a rat because Kambosos was in the Pacquiao camp for his fight against Jeff Horn, his fellow countryman. Yeah, that's true, but he ain't gonna mention that part because he's trying to get into Devin's head. He's just trying to get into Devin's head.
And just like BT was saying, I don't know this dirt like this. BT he's been around more boxing when he goes to Las Vegas.
Man,
it's very common for all this.
I'll be in the gym sometimes. I'm not gonna say no names or fighters, right? But I'll be in the gym sometimes, and I'll be hearing fighters having these big fights coming up, and they'll see sparring partners that train at the same gym that were at another gym with the fighter they're gonna fight or someone. Yeah. And they get it. There's all kinds of ways. Like fighters, this happens
all the time.
All the time, literally in boxing.
More often than you think.
More often than you think. Almost. I guarantee you. For almost any fight of any relevancy or importance in boxing, there's always sparring partners or managers or anybody. Somebody's giving information. The only difference here is that George has actually exposed it.
Yeah, and basically what BT's saying is somebody's scouting the opponent's fighters.
Yeah. Yo, True School Sports, could Charlo be upset to lose? He only fights once a year, and he's been looking bad. So Lucky has also been inactive. With Jamal Charlo, yeah, he could lose if he fought the right opponent, but PBC's been picking the right guys. Your Brandon Adams of the world. Suleki's a good, solid fighter. I think that'll be a okay fight. But
one thing about Jamal, he never takes responsibility for himself. He never says, okay, when they didn't do. When he really showed me his true colors when he was the Mike Tyson, but what is the podcast.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson put him on the spot, and he couldn't even man up for himself.
Kevin Knight is helping other fighters as part of boxing. I know what you're saying, Kevin. It is part of boxing, but I'm not talking about helping fighters. I'm talking about like
exposing the dirt.
I'm talking about like exposing things about the personal life, things that were told to you in confidence in another gym. There's shit like that. Yeah. I'm talking about that kind of stuff. The stuff that like basically the stuff that George alleges Devin did with him when he was fighting Tszyu.
And be open-minded. A lot of this is just mind games until the fight happens, and after the fight, the fighters just they had to sell the fight or do whatever they had to do to get the fights or whatever. So it's just a mind game. It's like a chess game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So keep in mind with that.
Paradise says we have a thing called tall poppy syndrome. We hate for people to act cocky. In it equals George Kambosos Jr. Yeah, well, look, man.
I disagree with that because when Tszyu was up on the top and he talked a lot of shit, he got cocky and he got brought down. But give credit to Kambosos, and I'm going to say this.
Okay, Kevin. All right.
Give credit to Kambosos because now he's on the top there. He's top dog. Why can he sound cocky and confident when he went through everything in his life? He did all the travels and everything to get where he's at. He's been the underdog. He's still the fucking underdog going to this fight. So why can't he talk his shit?
Yeah, Ernie Matthews. Yeah, Ben actually worked with Billy Joe. I can't remember which fights right now. It might have been the Canelo fight, and it might have been the last couple of fights. I know it was when Billy Joe was at 68, so it might have been either the last two fights at what was it? Yeah, it might have been the fight against Coceres, and who was the guy he won PB title?
Who's this?
Isufi. Those two fights, and I think maybe the Canelo fight, but don't hold me to that one. I'm pretty sure it was those 2 or 3 fights. He was with Billy Joe for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Ben Davison's a hair model. That's funny. Shout out to all 51 here. Make sure you smash that like button and definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel, super chat, all that good stuff we hear. It's Monday. It's Kambosos-Haney fight week. It's also Stephen Fulton fight week, but nobody's talking about
Stand
Stephen
up
Fulton.
from Philly. That's right.
Stephen Fulton, the pound for pound. He's got Philadelphia on his back.
Fighters, yeah.
All the king, the guy being everybody being undefeated. Adam Lopez undefeated. Angelo Leo undefeated, which is that's the big one, really.
Yeah,
Angelo Leo,
yeah.
Brandon Figueroa. Who else? I mean, it's a couple other guys. It's a couple other guys too. He only has 20 fights.
Give him respect.
20 fights.
Give him respect.
9 of them are undefeated. Almost half his resume is undefeated fighters.
The Philly fighters, man. They sound about them.
Now he's taking on another tough challenge, Daniel Roman.
Wow.
A guy who's former world champion, a guy that you would be led to believe is going to be very hungry, determined, formidable, trying to get himself back into being the champion this weekend. Mm-hmm. And what better way to do it by fighting a guy that many people consider to be the best in the weight class. He is the best in the weight class. Yeah. Dundada says, wait, does Fulton fight and Inoue fight this week too? No. So on the last live, when I was live for a fight, I had my dates mixed up. So Inoue and Donaire fight next weekend. Next week. I think on Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday the 7th. They fight on the 7th. Stephen Fulton fights the night of this Saturday night. So yeah. So basically, what I'm telling you guys is you got Devin Haney, Kambosos in the daytime, and you got Fulton versus Roman at night, and you're gonna have Morrell on the undercard. So we'll definitely talk about that fight too. But obviously the talk of the week is gonna be about George versus Kambosos, Devin the Dream Haney.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a big thing. But I also say that Devin can use this to motivate himself. No, what I want to ask you is, what was when somebody what was Haney's reaction when Kambosos literally threw that out to him, like told on him or rat him out?
He looked befuddled.
Are you serious?
Confused.
It was like a curveball.
It was a complete curveball. He's like, he just caught him off guard. So we'll see how he deals with it as fight week goes on. But Dundada says, if you don't believe in yourself, who the fuck? Well, that's right, Dundada. Talk to these people, man, because I'm gonna tell you, man. Like that's why people always have these negative things to say about George Kambosos Jr., which is crazy, right? Yeah. They didn't believe in him when he fought Tszyu, right? They still don't believe in him now. But you know what? It don't matter because George believes in himself. And you know what? Like, I like Devin, I like George, but I like the fact that
what's crazy
that George believes in himself the way he do. It's inspirational.
What's crazy about the whole thing? He's in his homeland, his own country, and he's the underdog. And he's gonna have to prove them wrong too. I mean, I know the crowd's loud.
Well, he's not proving them wrong. He's proving the Vegas betting.
Okay, the casinos.
Yes, the casinos.
He's proving the casinos wrong. So he's still got to prove them, like, okay, I got to prove myself again. And as long as he's got that mentality, I got to go in there and prove myself, it's going to make him work harder, keep him hungrier, and it's going to be tough to take those belts away from him.
Dondada says, I think Roman has more experience than Leo and Brandon Figueroa. He does. He does have more experience. Yeah, he does. He does have more experience. But I don't know, man. I'm not trying to write him off. Like, I know he's a really good fighter. Roman is fantastic. I like Roman. But, like, I don't know if is he gonna hit Stephen Fulton anything harder than Angelo Leo was hitting within those first 4 rounds, and is he gonna have the combination of size and volume of Figueroa? I don't know, but you know what? I'm gonna go watch some. I'm gonna watch some more tape on Roman this week so I could like really have a better opinion of the fight. But I think Fulton will beat him.
And regardless of anything what you want to say about Fulton fought all these undefeated fighters and proved them all wrong. I mean, he's got to prove himself right. So I don't care how you want to look at him. You got to give that respect to him and know that when he comes to a fight, he's going to be ready to fight anybody.
Next Level Boxing says, Andre could easily fight Johnny Beck, beat him, and then move up through the WBO after that with a new promoter who he could use to have better leverage in the future personally, which, I haven't even considered that possibility, but you make a great point. And like I said, the only way I'm giving Andre a pass at all for not fighting Johnny Beck is if he somehow manages to secure one of them big fights with Benavidez or Plant or Charlo, which I don't think is going to happen. I think he's going to try to do that. Okay, he's not going to do that. And then he'll be faced with the decision of fighting Johnny Beck. And based on what he does in that situation, I'll make my video accordingly.
I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I know my son very well. And he's walking around with a time bomb fusing. And fucking Andre wants to see somebody run angry and blow up. In a video, it's coming from BT if he doesn't take the right route.
Joy is acting like a true champ. He earned his belts.
That's right. Give him respect. Why people hating on him?
Yeah.
Let him talk. Let him be cocky the way he got it. He got the belts. He's a motherfucker right now. He's the emperor.
Would you guys put pound for phone if he beats Roman? Kind of hard to make up my mind. To be honest, like as I stated the last time I tried to do the pound for pound list when I was here, fuck pound for pound. But what I can say is, whether he hasn't fought Roman yet, but I really do truly believe that like we should already be talking about Fulton as one of the better fighters in boxing. I don't think people have been talking about him enough. People always say they want a guy to dominate the division. They want the guys to do this. He's been doing that. He's been fighting the top guys. He's beaten 2 of the champions at their own game. Angelo Leo, who is a friend of mine, and I know how good of a fighter he is, and Brandon Figueroa are predominantly inside fighters. Fulton, before fighting both those guys, Fulton did not have the reputation for being an inside fighter. He beat both those guys being an inside fighter. So I think we should already talk about him like he's one of the best fighters.
And let's be real. I'm not saying everybody, not all, but most. If you just go over what the media tells you and all this shit, sometimes you blind and appreciate a good fighter like Fulton. Fulton's from Philly. He's proven he's fought all undefeated fighters. He's doing it. Give that man his credit where credit is due. And don't forget about my boy Otar. What's his name? The guy from Philly.
He's at 130.
I guess a damn. He's gonna be good.
He ain't nowhere near this weight class.
I know. I still like him. What's his name again?
Otar Aronofsky.
Yeah.
BT, I have exciting news for you guys. I just found out I'm gonna be an uncle. My little sister found out she's pregnant and might be having twins, but they have to go to the doctor to confirm next week. But why is everybody? Well, congratulations to you. Congrats to you. God bless, and may they have a very safe childbirth. Mm-hmm. But it seems like everybody I know is getting pregnant these days. Like I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna say his name on here, but I have somebody who watches this channel. This kid is like young. This kid's like 10 years younger than me.
Listen, man.
Or no, not 9 years younger than me. This guy swore up and down his life. He's like, I'm not getting with none of these females. He used to tell me all the time, I'm gonna be a virgin for life. I said, you ain't no fucking virgin for life. I said, you're gonna meet someone and you probably gonna fold.
Yeah. Well,
he folded.
All I gotta say is,
19 years old. Gotta go pregnant.
Well, God bless you guys. Blessings for you. If your family is gonna have kids, God bless everything. Just be smart what you do. Think with this and not that one down there.
That's right. Devin is a fighter who can spoil you watching him just being so good so often. Punishing puncher too. I wouldn't. I like Devin. I don't think he's a punishing puncher. I think anybody who's being, honest is gonna. Even people who like Devin are gonna tell you he's a punishing puncher. He's a sharp puncher, but I wouldn't call him a punishing puncher.
But I do appreciate his skills, and I appreciate what he brings to the table when he goes to boxing. What he does in the ring, it's not a powerful punch. He doesn't knock out everybody. But he's got the skills to do it.
Yeah. Going back to that Andre thing, right? That's a great point. That's actually why he should fight Johnny Beck. Beat Johnny Beck. Solidify that run at middleweight. One more defense.
Right.
And then move up the WBO rankings because you're a champion. You're a champion. And then use it as leverage to sign a PBC. That's what I think he should do. I think he should fight Johnny Beck, beat him, solidify his middleweight title run, and then use that belt to move up to 68 and challenge for the 68 belt, all right? And use it as leverage to sign PBC, where all the big names, all the guys he called out in that interview are all PBC fighters. Yeah. So that's what it is.
Do you think that, I know it's a stupid question, but I got to ask it anyways.
Go ahead, Pops.
Do you think, even though Canelo got humbled by Vivo or he's looking for a rematch or whatever, do you think now that he got humbled, that he'll be willing to accept a fight from Andre?
Who? No! Hell no!
No, you still think
Canelo's afraid of Andre. Hell no!
I didn't mean it that way. I'm just trying to say, like,
no, you don't want to fight no damn
to get clarity.
No! Clarity?
So you can say, okay,
competitive integrity? What the fuck is Canelo care about these things? What are you, especially now?
I had to say it anyway.
Come on, man.
We say no stupid questions, stupid questions.
That's a foolish question. You know they answer that question. I asked him that question this calendar year.
Yeah.
I asked that question.
What are you gonna get you going on there? Yeah,
Fulton is the best. He's on the pound for pound less. He's done more than bitch ass MJ Akwadaliev. He didn't want to rematch Danny Roman. This Fulton fight will show us where he's at. MJ is almost 31 when he won. Fulton is 24. Man, how are you? You stay hating on MJ Akwadaliev. What did he do to you, man? Did he make love to your girlfriend? Why are you so mad?
Don't be a hater, be an appreciator.
BT and Pop, did you guys see any big improvements with Sebastian Fundora in this fight with Eric Lubin? I wouldn't really say improvements. Listen, Fundora, he is who he is. It don't change for really any opponent. I think he's a big, tall, praying man, puts some boxing gloves on. He likes to get right on top of his opponents. He's very well conditioned. He's a very good combination puncher. And if he gets on top of you and you start trading with him, you're gonna get beat up. And that's what happened with Lubin. Lubin, I to be honest with you, I actually give, if we're talking about improvements, because like Fundora is who he is. He's never gonna change. He's gonna be that fighter his whole career.
Right.
I actually give more credit to Lubin. Lubin actually showed me a lot in that fight. Me and someone that don't like Lubin, to be honest with you, I don't really like him, but Lubin showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of determination. When things got difficult, he didn't pack it in. He deserves all the respect in the world. We should never. Even though I'm not like, I've had my things in the past, Lubin. Like we had an incident a couple years ago. But like apart from that, like all respect in the world. You go in there, you put your life on the line. You have all these things happen to you. Your face looks like, Martin Lawrence in that one episode of Martin where his face is all puffed up and he still was in there fighting till the very end. He even got a knockdown. So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he put the best that he could. That's all I could ask for about somebody. And experience is the best teacher, and he learned from that. I think if you're gonna fight Lubin, you gotta chop that motherfucking tree down. Gotta go to that body. Yeah, go to that body.
This is a great question. What do you think about this fight, Pops? Inoue versus Fulton. Who will win? If Inoue moved up to 122 to fight Stephen Fulton.
Dang, that's hard. But I'm still going with them. Until I see the monster get beat, I'm going with the monster.
Yeah?
And because they both be undefeated. But we don't know if they're there and then fight. But I'm saying that'd be a great fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm jumping the gun too far.
We're going to see. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's let Inoue get to this fight first before we start talking about Fulton. But I think it'd be a good fight. I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm just not willing to talking about fights that aren't happening.
Yeah,
I'm into talking about fights that are happening.
My son tells me that all the time off camera. Stop talking about the far. Let the fighters get ahead of what they got to do first. I think this week I was talking about some fighter that was fighting. And I was saying, what happened if he beats him? You
were talking about Luis Arias fighting Tony Harris. And I said, why are you talking about Tony Harris? He got to fight Jimmy Quiet Stone Williams. Now, he beat Jimmy Quiet Stone Williams, so now he can talk about Tony Harris.
Talk about that. Yeah, but he was letting me know, I don't think far ahead. Talk about what's happening now.
Yeah. Bob Arum is the best. He's saying the winner of June 18th will fight Anthony Yarde, a real British level fighter. And you know what? A real British fighter. Yeah, and I like Anthony Yarde. Lions in the camp. But speaking of June 18th, for those that don't know, June 18th is that great fight with Artur Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. I got an announcement. If you guys didn't hear us say it on the last night, well, I'll say it again. Me and Pops are going to be in New York City for that fight. We'll be at the theater in Madison Square Garden. So if anybody in this chat, on this channel, or watching the playback is going to be in New York City for the Better BF Smith fight. Let us know. If you got me on Instagram, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or email, whatever. And we'll definitely meet up. I like meeting people that watch my channel. It's happening a lot these days, so it's definitely fun. But this will be Pops' first fight going to New York City. That'll be my first time going to New York City for a fight since the Wilder-Stavern rematch.
Wow.
That was 5 years ago. So
just to go there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna enjoy this one. You know, you got two punchers. You got the knockout king of boxing, Artur Beterbiev, because he is the knockout king. He's a unified champion. He's unified champion, and he has a 100% knockout ratio. You can't do much more than that. Right. And then you got Joe Smith Jr., a guy that's done plenty.
That'd be a great fight either way.
So yeah, if you're in New York City, just hit me up on social media and let me know. Dundada says, BT, I'm gonna do all I can to be there. I'm only a couple hours away. Well, if you're there, you got me on Instagram, Dundada. You know where to find me. I'm very easy to reach on Instagram. So, definitely look forward to meeting you. And listen, any of you guys I meet, I'm getting you're gonna get on the channel.
Yeah, I get that. Now go from there.
Is Fedora's inside game tops in the sport? No, because there's a guy named Roman Gonzalez that exists. As long as that guy's around, everybody's plays second field to Roman Gonzalez. But his inside game is pretty damn good. And it's gotten this far.
Has he really been tested though?
Yes, he just fought Lubin.
Okay, Lubin. Okay.
Did you watch the Lubin fight?
Besides Lubin,
did you watch the Lubin fight?
But besides Lubin, who else? Because no disrespect to Lubin, but I think there's better fighters. 154, right?
It's not many.
154?
Yeah, it's not many.
About Jamel Charlo.
Yeah, he hasn't fought Jamel Charlo, but like,
okay. Besides Lubin,
outside of champ,
or fought quality opponents besides Lubin. Who's been a quality?
What do you mean besides Lubin? Like, Lubin's a top guy.
Lubin at 154.
He is a top guy. As far as contenders, he is a top guy.
No, the top guy is Jamel Charlo.
No, see, you're not listening. You're not listening.
Okay.
Of guys who do not have belts.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
He fought Sergio Garcia, who was 33-0. Oh. No, Sergio Garcia is a great win.
How old is this guy? Sergio Garcia?
No, you just want to discredit him. You just want to discredit him.
No,
I can tell by you answering these. You asking.
I don't think
you just want to
discredit him. The only one that I see, in my opinion, you probably right. You're the knowledge, you're the Bible, you everything on that. I think that the only one that the biggest fight that he had
was Lubin.
Lubin. That's
it. Lubin. No, Sergio Garcia.
But there's better contenders.
You're not taking away Sergio Garcia.
Okay. He beat Sergio Garcia, whatever his name is. But in my opinion, he's only fought that. I think there's better contenders than that.
There is. He's 24 fucking years old. Can you give him time to have his career?
Who's that?
Fedor. Can you give him time to have his career?
The
guy's 24 years old.
I understand.
The guy's 24 years old. We're freaking 24 pro fights.
I'm not hating on him. I'm just telling you, I want to see him better competition.
He fought Jorge Cota.
Okay. Well, how long was that?
Last year.
And who else he
fought? Habib Ahmed. He fought Gallimore. He fought good fighters. Like his last I don't care who you like. He fought He's fought solid guys.
I don't care what you like that. Not what you like. Not what you like. But he's fought. I gotta see step up more competition. I want to see test some more.
Valor says Joe Smith will have a lot of fans there. I'm also in New York. We'll see. I'm going for Joe Smith. I mean,
blue collar.
Beterbiev is their favorite, but I want to say I'm not really bothered about who loses. I won't be heartbroken. But man, if Joe Smith Jr. beat Beterbiev, that'd be crazy. And I'm going there with my American flag.
You got it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be lit.
Can't wait. Hiram wants to know, Pops, when was the last time when you were in New York? Was that in the 1980s?
I went when Brendan was about I think 6 years old.
So that means you went
21 years ago.
No. If I was 6, that means you went in 2001. You didn't go to New York in 2001.
When you were 6, you're 27 now.
When I was 6 in the year 2001. 1995, so I was 6 in the year 2001. We didn't go nowhere except Florida, Massachusetts in 2001 because I remember that time.
Well, now we went to go see your aunt.
So that had been like now it's like 3 or 4,
maybe 3 years old.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
What do you think will make? Who do you think will make the better adjustments in the second fight between Nonito and the Monster? And do you see it going the distance again? Because I don't. It's not going the distance. No way. They shared 12 rounds. Think, better adjustments. I'm going with the Monster. Even
with Donair's experience?
Yeah, I'm going with the Monster. I think the Monster has had, because he was really active at that time. Like when he fought Donair, he was fighting all the time. I think he hasn't been fighting as much, which in a way may have actually benefited him and given him more time to think. which can sometimes be bad, but for him, I think it'll be good.
Right.
So I think I'll go with the monster. I'm picking him to win. You know, Donaire, he's had a great run.
Too, right? Much older.
Yes, Donaire has had a great run. Donaire is really doing more than he should be right now, beating these top guys like Obali and Gabayo, younger guys later on in his career. So it's just all icing on the cake for what's already been a great career. He beats the monster. That's talking. You're talking about.
Yeah.
It's even higher now.
Yeah.
Like, so I think Donaire is playing with house money. Like I think even he knows that. I think Donaire knows he's playing with house money. He's like, okay, if I win, this is like the biggest thing in my career. If I win.
But you know what I always say, man. What I always tell you.
Experience.
You might have lost that first. Let me ask you a question. I didn't see the first one. I had to go watch it.
You did watch it. We were live for it. We were live.
Did Donaire,
we were live.
Did he dominate him?
Nobody dominated anybody. It was a close fight.
So it's an even fight. So
the difference in the fight was that Inoue dropped him with a body shot late in the fight, and then the fight went a distance.
Okay, so coming into this fight, what gives you the edge on besides Donaire being
older?
Yeah, you just finished saying that was pretty close fight either way, right?
It was. I don't know. I just
we went live for that.
We were live at like early in the morning. Apparently you forgot. You weren't there that day. You were there, but you weren't there.
Oh my god, my mind is gone.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
I believe you. Oh my god,
I can pull it up.
I told you guys, my mind is gone.
The war, man. The war got them all messed up. Wait, yeah, no, I think age will play a factor. Think also Inoue is a guy that's going into his prime.
Yo, what you told me too that I think is a good point, and I think like you say he had more time now for Top Rank to put him out there more. But I think that inactivity, you don't think that might play in Donaire's hand because Top Rank don't put him keep him active. Keep him active like the Taken or who was what before. You think that play to Donaire's hand?
Maybe early, but as the fight wears on, you know, he'll be, that wears off. I think it wear off.
Okay.
Shout out to Anthony. He says, BT, I'm not sure if you agree with this issue with Eddie Hearn is his arrogance in terms of assuming he would have connections already in America because of his father without building the relationships. He was very arrogant when he came here to the States, and that's why he's had a hard time securing the big name American fighters. And you know, look, whether it's boxing promotion, me here with YouTube, anything in life, you know, working a business, you know, cleaning cars, you know, relationships or everything. He didn't have those relationships, and he said he was going to take over America. So arrogance, you know, probably comes before the fall. I think that's been one of the main reasons why Eddie Hearn hasn't really lit the world on fire in the USA. No. Hyro says Fundora is dog food for Tony Harrison. What do you think?
We have to see the fight.
You know, Hyro loves Tony Harrison.
I like him too. The dog. Yeah. So
for as long as it lasts, Better Be versus Joe Smith Jr. is my prediction for fight of the year, and that's exactly why I spent hundreds of dollars to go be in New York for 4 days and go to this fight. I'm excited.
You think Joe Smith has enough to beat Better Be?
I'm telling you right now.
Didn't you tell me he got early in his career he got knocked down? I
keep telling everybody that wants to everybody think I'm being a hater. I don't know where this fucking I don't know this fucking hater where it comes from. Cause I just literally just give my objective thoughts about boxing.
You talk about it the way you see it.
Better BF is chinny. I don't care what nobody says.
So you've been knocked down a couple times?
He's chinny. He can be hurt. If you don't want me to use the word chinny, then we'll say he's vulnerable. We'll use that. He's vulnerable, okay? When he fought Callum Johnson, we saw what happened to him. He got dropped, okay? If you've really done your research and watched his career, when he fought the dude Jeff Page early in his career, on the domestic Canadian level, he got dropped there too. So Better Be ever shown if you placed, like any other fighter, you land the right shot, you can hurt him. The only problem is there hasn't been anybody in boxing that he's fought that's had that extra bit of quality to stop him. Now, what do we know about Joe Smith Jr.? Joe Smith Jr. may not have the best speed in the world. He may not have all the crazy defensive moves in the world. But you know what he's going to do? Mm-hmm. He's going to fucking let them hands go. That's one thing we do know about Joe Smith.
He's pressure. He come forward. You come forward, he's going to pressure you.
Yeah, so I just think, look, if he's able to land one of them big-ass left hooks on Better Be, which is going to be difficult because Better Be can box. He is the superior boxer.
Would you say
he's the favorite for a reason? But if he lands it, don't be surprised.
Would you say in your opinion, the fight, which was the better fight? Testing for Benavidez, was it the Brown fight or this fight coming up?
This fight. Definitely this fight. Definitely.
So you're basically saying
Marcus Brown is sorry. Marcus Brown is not that good.
So you're basically saying that Smith is a lot better than Marcus Brown.
Yes. Marcus Brown is not that good. Never had this. Marcus Brown was one of the most talented amateurs in this country, but when he got to the pros, it was made apparent very early on when he first fought Hot Rod on the Spencer Archery undercard that for all the skills he had, he didn't have enough of this.
The heart.
He didn't have the heart.
Wow. But you will say that about Joe Smith.
And that was exposed before he fought better BF.
So you're basically saying Joe Smith got heart and then some.
Then some. You try taking a punch to the face. I have. I know what it's like.
He's gonna punch you right back.
Joe Smith has not fought anyone good other than Bill, but he lost. He lost to Blazov and fought an unranked contender. He's a part-timer. I didn't know Fonfara and Bernard Hopkins were bad fighters all of a sudden. I didn't know they were bad fighters.
You always gotta tell something.
I didn't know that. They say no, but they say Bernard was old after the fact. But that whole week, I remember unlike most people, I was actually here on YouTube when that fight got signed, and I remember everybody was like, "Yeah, this gonna be target practice for Bernard. Bernard gonna do this," but Bernard got out of the fucking ring.
You got gassed out.
Jesse Hart got offended because he knocked out Bernard. How could you say, "I gotta fight you for my city"? Yeah. You heard a lot of people in my city. Do the same shit to Jesse Hart. All right, beat the shit out of him. Then he fought Eliana Alvarez. Gave him the freaking Bernard Hopkins. You knocked him out the ring. Stop playing with Joe Smith Jr. Y'all keep thinking Joe Smith Jr. is sweet.
Hey, he's a blue collar. He got a tree business. You work hard like anybody else. Give him that respect.
Bernard was 51 years old, but listen, man.
But who's favorite going into the fight? You know
Bernard was which one?
I'm talking about coming out right now. Who's favorite right now?
Oh, better be it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Bernard, who's favorite? Another one? Hopkins.
Bernard was.
Whoa.
So was Fonfara. When he fought Fonfara, he was like a 15-1. Crazy.
And he knocked him
the fuck out in his hometown, right there in front of all the Polish people. So I don't want to hear anybody trying to revise history and discredit Joe Smith Jr.'s
put
career.
Some respect on
put some damn respect on Joe Smith Jr.'s name.
He's very humble too. I think it looks like he's a very humble guy.
Fighter deserve respect.
Yeah.
You know, tired of it.
Yeah.
Andre Ward ducked better BF and Bivol. Yeah, he had a very timely retirement. We'll just say that.
Yeah,
because I was there. I was there when I was at the card when he fought Kovalev in the rematch. Bivol was on the undercard. Dimitri Bivol fought Cedric Agnew on the Kovalev Ward rematch undercard. Okay,
yeah,
and that was his last fight. And then he retired after that fight. And then he was doing commentary for HBO. And then he did it. He interviewed Bivol like HBO sent him to go do a little documentary with Bivol, and this after he retired.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, so look,
only in boxing.
I'm not gonna say he ducked him because I don't want to be disrespectful. But what I'm gonna say is he had a timely retirement. I'm gonna put it nicely. He had a timely retirement.
Lightweight.
Yeah.
What else he got?
Let me see. Ward ducked better BF, the same age as him. BT, you're screaming. Am I? I'm excited.
Hey.
Maybe I have a little bit more energy these days. I've been working out a lot. So.
Do you feel that the Bivol and Ramirez fight gotta get made soon?
Oh yes.
Do you think Golden Boy's gonna push for that?
I'm gonna tell you guys like this. Now, before this year started, I told you guys on January 1st, 2021, the first video I ever did this year. I said the light heavyweight division is gonna have a banner year this year. This will be the year that the lightweight division stops being the light heavyweight division, I should say.
Yeah.
The light heavyweight division stops being stagnant, and we get these big fights, right? So Bivol beat Canelo. Threw him over the rope like a piece of trash. All right. Exposed. Canelo exposed by Bivol. All that good stuff. All right. Now, we know what's going to happen with Better BF Smith. The winner of Better BF Smith is going to fight Anthony Yarde because Anthony Yarde is mandatory for the WBO.
Okay.
That fight will happen next, if not in the fourth quarter of this year, in the first quarter of 2023.
Right.
Okay. So what that does, right? What that's going to do is free up Zotto and Bivol. There literally is no other fight to make in the light heavyweight division than Zotto and Bivol. And I said it back in December. That is the best fight in boxing.
Well, just recently, they said that Bivol's already in the gym training for his next fight, but they don't say who the next opponent's going to be.
Yeah.
So, because I think Bivol's the A side, right, to get the fight. Like if he wants to fight, he'll get it. But if Zotto keeps pushing it, he's the B side who won't get the fight.
Say it again.
Or I'm saying because Bivol beat Canelo, I'm just gonna say hypothetical in my own opinion. He probably be A side.
Is he the A side against?
So like if
Zotto,
if you have a choice,
he might not be.
But what I'm saying, I'm saying how am I explaining? He's got the choice if he wants to fight.
Oh, you're saying is he in the driver's seat to make the decisions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
he is.
Because
He is.
Golden Boy is not really pushing the fight.
Zuro doesn't have a belt, but the thing is, Zuro is mandatory now.
Oh, okay.
Zuro is mandatory.
Oh, so now
and Bivol, like I like Bivol, but I can't play favorites. Okay, you can't say the fight was his fault, didn't happen, and now he's mandatory, and you can put all that to bed and make the fight, and then you don't want to fight him. No, they have to fight each other. Unless he's getting a Canelo fight next, which we know he's not, because Canelo is fighting Golovkin.
Because they say he's in the gym working out, but we don't know who's going to fight.
He should be working out. He had a sparring session in his last fight.
No, what I'm saying, you're right. But what I'm saying is the reality is we don't know who his next opponent is, even though he has the mandatory. Because how many times we see fighters have mandatories and don't fight the mandatories?
That's true. Steven Rodriguez, what's good, champ? One of the local coaches here in the amateur scene in South Florida. You know, boxing in the daytime.
Yeah.
Plumbing in the daytime, boxing at night. It's the work after the work. Shout out to him. He says, "Ayo, what up to the untouchable True School Sports Chat, BT and Pops. Hope all is well with you, champ. Good to see you. What's the undercard for that Better Be a fight? I'll be honest with you. I have no clue. The only fight I've seen so far is I think Abraham Noah was on the card. But personally, look, I don't give a. That fight is so good.
Yo, you know who you might be fighting? Nova?
DC Ramirez?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm going for Rodisi.
Puerto Rico gonna lose again. Anyway, I don't even care about the undercard, to be honest with you. I mean, I hope it's good because I did pay money to go out there. But Better Be versus Smith to me is a can't miss fight. Yeah. It's a fight that in no way, shape, or form do I expect it to be a boring fight. I don't see any scenario where that's a boring fight.
Now you said that Better Be is getting old too, so he's got to get his shot, his fight sooner or later.
He knows.
38, 39?
38. 37 going on 38. He knows, and he knows every time he goes out there that he got to make a statement because, you know, he doesn't really talk the most, so he got to let his hands do the talking.
That's what it is. 100% a knockout rate.
Nobody's ever in the distance, 100%. And he ain't just fighting he ain't fighting no like gumball machine fighters.
Like I say,
all right, he's been fighting
cream of the crop,
the top guys. You know. What's up? How do you see Kambosos versus Haney? How do I see it? See it as a 50-50 fight. Think elite reflexes versus elite timing. I think the better fighter in this fight, that the fighter that will win this fight, I'm not gonna say who I think it is or whatever, but I think whoever wins this fight is be the more conditioned fighter. The more conditioned fighter wins this fight. That's what I think. Because I think there's gonna be pockets in this fight where the reflexes of Devin will trouble George, and then I think George is gonna adjust to it, and then the timing of George will trouble Devin, and then once all that is done, you'll get to those like the 8th, 9th, 10th, like the last 4 rounds, last 3 rounds, championship rounds, and then it'll all come down to who's just the more conditioned fighter and who wants to win more. I don't know who that is. We'll find out come Saturday.
Yeah, I think the pressure. I think that the pressure is more on Devin Haney than it is Kambosos. Kambosos to me is the more experienced fighter for what he's done, what he's traveled, and everything. So I think it's a lot more for Devin to a pill to swallow than it is for Kambosos. So I got Kambosos winning.
Okay. Instead of Buatsi fight Zoro, he beats Zoro, and then we all have an all-Mexican lightweight clash. Instead of Buatsi fighting Zoro, he beats Zoro, and then we have an all-Mexican light heavyweight clash. I want to talk about him and Canelo.
Well, I don't know.
Canelo, if you're insinuating that Canelo Alvarez and Zoro are gonna fight, if he loses a fight, he could lose, win, whatever. Canelo don't fight Mexicans. He told you himself.
Yeah, and I think
it's not happening.
I think Virgil Hunter came out and said that.
But it'd be a good fight.
He came out with saying that Bossi's not ready yet to get a big fight like that.
Yeah. Kambosos got more dog. Genuinely, that's how I feel. I actually feel George has more dog than Devin. But we're gonna see. This is why we're gonna watch the fights, because Devin has a chance to show the world his greatness and what he has inside of him. Because sometimes you don't really see everything that's in a fighter's soul until he gets the right test in the right circumstances. And I feel like there was ever a scenario where you could say it's the right circumstances. Yeah. It's gotta be right now, this fight. You know what I'm saying? So Devin looks kind of scared. A lot of people have been saying that. We'll see. He says,
I'm not gonna say he's scared. I just think he's in a very uncomfortable position because of everything that's changed for him. Everything.
It's a lot of things going. A lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts. Mm-hmm. I mean, Zoro beats Bivol, and that Canelo versus Zoro fight is there. Zoro beats Bivol. I think Zoro will beat Bivol if they do fight. I'm picking him. They fight. I'm picking Zoro. But if that got, I don't think it could be right there, Dandada. It was there a couple of times, I don't think there was any negotiation, but I'm saying the landscape was at a place where if he really wanted that fight, he could have, made some things happen. I don't think you want to fight no damn Zurdo Ramirez, because look, Canelo Alvarez when he fought Bivol, right? Well, on fight night he rehydrated to 186 pounds. Jeez. Do you know what Zurdo rehydrates to on fight night? I
hate to say it.
200. Last night he rehydrated to 204 pounds. So unless Canelo's ready to go in there and duke it out with a damn heavyweight on the night of the fight, don't fight no damn Zurdo Ramirez. And that's gonna be the challenge for Bivol as well. Bivol was about 180, 186 on fight night as well when he fought Canelo, 185. So if he fights Zurdo, the odds are he's gonna be at a 20+ pound weight disadvantage on fight night. Right now, that doesn't mean he's gonna lose. I'm just saying it makes things very difficult for him if Zurdo lands any sort of power punches that have more of an effect. He's gonna have to really, really, really be on his P's and Q's and outbox him.
And I think I'll be honest with you. I think Canelo's confidence has been shaken by the Bivol loss. So I mean, whoever he steps up in the ring with, he's gonna have trouble. So that's why I'm not disrespecting Gigi, but that's why he's taking that fight.
Yeah. You guys, listen, if you guys ever hear me talk about boxing, you will seldom ever hear me say that a fighter is too big, but Zurdo Ramirez is too big for a lot of fighters at 175. He's huge. I've seen him in person. He's huge. He's a freaking gargoyle of the weight class.
Is he bigger than Joe Joyce, even though different weight?
No, he's not bigger than Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is, what?
I haven't seen
Joe Joyce is like, Joe Joyce is like 6'6.5", almost 6'7", 260 pounds. He's tall and he's big. He looks like freaking George Foreman.
A gargoyle?
He looks like a gargoyle. I don't know what George Foreman watching him train was like back in his day, but I would assume it would have been something like when I was watching Joe Joyce. Zurdo's 6'2". Zurdo could fight a heavyweight.
Wow.
Zurdo could fight. Like legit, Zurdo could fight if he really wanted to. He could fight an undersized heavyweight, and he said he wants to.
Are you saying he's a weight bully?
He is.
Like Benavidez?
He is, but see, everyone loves Benavidez. I can be honest. Zurdo's weight bully, but he's very good too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're not saying Benavidez is that good?
Benavidez is good.
Between the both of them, who's better?
Zurdo. And if Benavidez ever got the balls to go to 175, his real weight class,
what?
He beat the. Listen. Mark my words. Mark my words.
I like Zurdo Ramirez too, but I like Benavidez.
Mark my words. All right. Mark my words. If them two ever fought, that will be one of David's last fights. Zurdo will beat the piss out of David.
How old is Zurdo? 24, 20?
No, I mean he's like 28, 29. Beat the piss out of him.
That'd be a great fight. I'd have to go.
Yeah, for Zurdo.
I'm a big Benavidez fan.
For Zurdo, I'll be a big fan for Zurdo.
I like Benavidez until he gets beat.
Yeah, so the real Mexican monster is. It is. It absolutely is.
You always been saying
it absolutely is. For years, right now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm as guilty of this as anybody in the world. Okay, Zurdo Ramirez has been overlooked for years. I used to overlook him, right? But over the last year or so, I've been really paying a lot more attention to him than I have, and it's becoming very apparent to me that when it comes to who are the best light heavyweights, who really is the most underrated fighter around that weight class is him. And hold on, okay, sorry to cut you off. He got this new trainer a couple fights ago, Julian Tszyu, who I think has added a little bit more craft to his skill set. So that's even making him more dangerous.
But I never tell me for the longest that he's a sleeper in the whole thing. You talk for a long time. Yeah. Don't sleep on him.
Yeah, the real boss says Benavidez has expressed interest in going to 175. Well, my thing is, I don't know if you ever heard this before, but I've had to say this many times before to people that don't get the information. Real boss, he's been at 175 in his career before. Like I think he's had about 5 or 6 fights in his pro career as a light heavyweight already. Not to mention when he missed weight against Romero Alexis Angulo, the WBC actually moved him to 175 as the #1 contender to where he could have fought Beterbiev. This was in late 2020. You can go look it up. Benavidez and his team didn't want to be there, so they requested to be moved back into the 168 rankings. And since that time, they fought Kyron Davis, Ronald Ellis, and David Lemieux. And they were supposed to fight Uskutagi, who's a good opponent, but
But no, what happened when you asked his father, Senior?
When I asked, this past, I think February or March, when Cholatito fought Martinez, his father was there. I did an interview with Dave Benavidez's dad. I asked him, I said, I actually brought up the situation. Hey, you guys had a chance to go fight Beterbiev. You were moved up to the rankings and whatnot.
What are you talking?
And he didn't answer the question. He completely sided the question and he said,
"Trouble, what's up?"
we gotta offer these are his words. We gotta offer to fight that guy from Mailer Promotions. And then I said, you mean Badu Jack? He's like, yeah, Badu Jack. But yeah, you know, we're gonna say 168. You know, if David couldn't make 168, you know, I'd put him up to 175. So
yeah.
Look. But I personally think, look, I like Benavidez. People think I'm a hater. You know, look, honestly, look, I don't even hate Canelo, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just hate how these guys move sometimes because it's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Okay. You're wasting time at 68. There's nothing more to accomplish. You've become 2-time champion. You've done your thing. Why sit around and wait for these fights to happen? Go fight these. Go where the action is. Go where the action is.
To make your legacy, you're wasting time. What you're saying. But I mean, I was reading a lot of comments in different channels too about Benavidez, and a lot of people in different channels say the same thing, that he's a big weight bully.
Yeah, he is. He is.
So it's not just you.
That's why I want to see. That's why I want to see. I want to see Zotto versus Benavidez. They're both weight bullies, right? Mm-hmm. Make the fight. Mm-hmm. Benavidez should really be a lightweight any damn way.
And I do agree with you. If you're gonna sit back and wait for a big payday for Canelo, then you might have to just go back to the food chain.
No way. Is it? Hold on. Is this true?
What?
This is not. This can't. This got to be a typo. So Valor says, did you hear Danny Garcia is fighting Jose Benavidez Jr.? I have not. So you dropping some news on me.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean,
so I saw Danny Garcia on New Year's Day at the Louis Ortiz card, and I asked him. I said, Danny. Well, not in the interview. Just I saw him. I was like, hey, are you going 154? He said, yeah, I'm going 154. I didn't know for this shit.
Yeah.
If it was 154, I mean, look, in his first fight, I give it to him. This first fight there, I won't go too crazy.
I haven't seen anything. That must come out.
But
you have to check it out first.
He'll not listen.
If it happens,
he will beat the living shit out of Jose Benavidez.
I know.
He going to destroy him. And if he don't, then if he can't beat Jose Benavidez, he needs to retire. Yeah. That's what it is. Jose Benavidez fought that Argentinian dude, Manu Torres. He really got lucky to get out there with a was it a win or was it a win or a draw?
Yeah.
I know he didn't lose.
I haven't read it. I haven't heard that. That just came out.
Yeah, but you know what? If he beats Benavidez, they'll probably make. Let me see what fight would they make? Yeah, they'll probably use that fight to get him a knockout. Oh my god, I can already see from a mile away. They're gonna use that. Listen to this shit. So Jermell Charlo not fighting soon, guys. They're gonna let. Oh my. No, listen. Yeah. That fight will happen whenever it happens. Supposedly it got announced. Mm-hmm. He'll knock out Jose Benavidez Jr. People get excited about Danny Garcia, and they will use that knockout to drum up hype for Jermell Charlo versus Danny Garcia. That'll be the fight. They'll have it somewhere like either Dignity Health Sports Center or they just fought because Danny's fought there before and Jermell fought there just recently.
Yeah. Or
they'll fight at Barclays Center and they'll do good numbers. Jeez. Or like Dandada says, maybe Jermell vacates for a title.
No disrespect.
Maybe Jermell vacates the title and he fights Tony Harrison for it. We'll see. I know Tony Harrison has expressed interest in fighting Danny as well. Boxing Degenerate asks, so do you think Devin is a rat? Doesn't matter what I think. George said that. But no, I don't mean who cares? They're gonna fight on Saturday. Who cares if I think he's a rat?
And at the end of the day, BT said he's gone all over the place and he's seen it all the time. So it's not just
fighters rat each other out all the time. The only difference is fucking George just exposed it.
Yeah.
I just found out that Ryan Garcia agreed to fight Javier Fortuna. What do you think about that? It's a very nice step up in my opinion. It's a good fight. Listen, I'm happy that Ryan Garcia is staying active. You know, he just fought what's his name? Tego. So now this will be a second fight of the year. Fortuna was a guy that he openly avoided last year. He ducked last year because he had the whole mental thing, you know. So now this is good. This looks good on Ryan because if he beats Fortuna now, he can put that to bed because this is a guy that people were saying he ducked last year. So if he beats him, that's 2 fights on the year. I know I made a video about it already. That's 2 fights on the year. And Ryan Garcia, that will give Ryan Garcia the momentum now with the whole tank thing. That will give him the momentum to go into a big fight on in the fourth quarter of the year. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this: if George Kambosos beat Devin Haney and he beats Fortuna, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. If George beats Devin and Ryan beats Fortuna, don't even think about what the next fight is. It's gonna be Ryan versus George, which I always thought was gonna happen because I always thought that they were using Tego as a pawn to make the Ryan fight, but that couldn't happen. So I I personally think if certain things play out, we're gonna see. Tszyu called Devin an email champion, and Devin ducked him. Devin owes no loyalty to anyone or Tszyu who disrespects him.
I don't know about that. Then you gotta see it.
How did he? Okay, someone needs to let me know this because I was here on YouTube and I was covering it, and I like both fighters, but bro, how could Tszyu duck Devin Haney when he had a fucking IBF mandatory, and then he had the fight signed with the IBF mandatory, and then the IBF mandatory fight freaking got postponed, so then they moved it. How is that ducking Devin Haney? It's not Devin's fault and it's not Tio's fault. It's the WBC's fault. The problem with boxing fans is the WBC is playing you guys like fiddles. Mm-hmm. They wanted all this dividing and conquering. This is what they're doing. They're dividing people. Oh, Devin's the champion. No, he's not. Tio's the undisputed champion. No, he's not. That's what this franchise shit is all about. It's about dividing the boxing fans and for the WBC to get the most favorable outcomes they want, and that's what's happened. So you really should be going off on Mauricio Suleiman. Let me see. Who the fuck ducks the undisputed fight in the IBF and an IBF? Who the fuck ducks Haney, an undisputed fight in the IBF Mando? I don't know, Dundada. Low key, I feel like Tszyu could have beat Kambosos if he wasn't looking for a knockout. Listen, man, I'm not gonna say too much, but Tszyu didn't really put himself in the best position with his preparation for that fight. He lost. It was what it was. It's no excuses. But if you ask Tszyu, he'll know what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, but shout out to him. He's back in training. He looks like the mental state is good. So for Tszyu, I'm happy.
Imagine Ryan beats George and becomes undisputed at lightweight. I'm telling you that people think I'm being crazy. That's what the boxing industry wants.
What's that?
They want Ryan to become undisputed.
So you're saying whoever wins this weekend or whatever happens, at some point that fight's gonna happen.
It'll happen quicker if George is the one that wins. If it's Devin, then I think it'll take a little bit less time. It'll take a little bit more time. It'll happen, but it'll take more time. Okay. But I'm telling you, if it's George that winds up beating Devin, and Ryan just does a job against Fortuna. Just don't even think about it. That's happening in the fourth quarter.
How about the fight that might possibly be between Tank and Garcia? Will that ever happen or blow out?
That's only happening if Ryan goes PBC, which he said he would. But
yeah, and Tank was saying that he don't want to give Romero a rematch because he said he got knocked down.
And then you can't forget. I'm glad they brought this up. You still have Lomachenko in the mix too.
Oh, that's right.
Got Lomachenko in the mix, so
God bless Lomachenko in his country.
Where we at? Hyro says, BT, don't be surprised if they make Charlo versus Lara. This is going to be a good unification. Lara's punching these days. I can't for Salah to say Charlo hasn't fought anyone good until Lara. He's going to say that. You know he's going to talk. Salah's going to talk that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because Hyro hates Ismail Salas, but all of a sudden he likes Salas now because Salas.
What is wrong with
you? He likes Lara, so Salas has Lara knocking people out.
But I'll give it to you.
2 fights to Salas, 2 knockouts.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, Hyro. You're a PBC champ, so I get it.
Yeah. Lomachenko still has those TFM nightmares. He does, and he still says that his arm was hurt and all these things. But listen, he lost. It is what it is.
The reality is there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The WBC is the most prized belt, but the organization is the most corrupt.
Amen.
That's what it is, man. And you know what? It's highly unfortunate, And I saw Mauricio Suleiman during the Caleb Plant Canelo fight week. Man, motherfucker got a gut on him, man.
Why do you keep
all
walking?
them sanctioning fees.
Why do you say keep walking?
Keep walking for peace. Right? I know. Listen, man. I can tell you what Mauricio Suleiman spends his sanctioning fees on. He's eating steaks and carne asada and all that stuff.
Yeah. No comment.
But Lois says, I was shocked to see that Lara is 39 years old and he still got it.
He looked good. He did.
Can you explain to me why Tank has a belt? I thought Haney and George have all the belts. Well, see, this goes back to what I was saying about boxing fans having their energies misguided at the fighters. It's not the fighters, okay? Fighters just fighting, all right? And if they give him a belt, fuck it, they're going to take the belt because the belt helps their careers. Now,
amen.
Tank has a belt, but it's not the legitimate belt. He has the secondary belt. But the problem is PBC is calling it the actual belt, and they're saying that Tank is this 3-division champion, which is not the truth.
And to go on that point, I just recently learned that from the Benavidez fight when they said that PBC, even if it's trinket belt, they call it a championship belt.
Like if you want an interim belt, you want an interim belt.
Yeah.
If you want an interim belt, you want a regular belt.
You're a champion.
You're the champ.
Only a PBC's world. More confusion.
And PBC also doesn't count the WBO.
Oh my Lord! God help him. God help everybody in boxing.
Random question: is the IBO belt still around? I don't still box with those anymore. That's a good question. I feel like I've seen some with the IBO, but I'm sure they're still around.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm sure. You know what? I should go get on my scooter and go drive down. The office is somewhere down here in Miami.
I keep telling you that we gotta go.
I just don't want to cover the IBO because I don't want to help legit. I don't want to play any percentage points of legitimizing a 5th belt in boxing. You know how fucked up boxing would be if the IBO got taken seriously? It's bad enough now.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good content for the subscribers that want to know about them and get a tour or whatever the case is. That's what you gotta look at. Look at it that way.
Shakur, I think he's talking about Shakur. Shakur Stevenson didn't look too good to my eyes. He was getting hit with clean right hands. You might need to get your eyes checked. You might need these, champ. All right.
Yeah, get mine too.
The Oscar Valdez fight was not close. Obviously, Oscar let his hands go. He landed a couple punches here and there, but it was one of his easiest fights. It really was. He had a hard time against Joet.
Yeah, I mean, look at his face.
You know, so hey, it is what it is. We'll see what happens when with Shakur Stevenson when he takes on other challenges. You know, I think he can get one more. I think Top Rank and DAZN and Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum will work together if they want to explore making a unification fight for Shakur to put two of his belts on the line to fight the winner of Kenichiro Ogawa versus Joe Cordina. Mm-hmm. But as far as that WBA belt, WBA belt's with it's with Roger Gutierrez. Maybe Golden Boy. I don't know. I think maybe we could get an undisputed champion at 135, but I'm not really sure. Let me see. Is it Maxie Hughes, IBO champ? You should push regardless. These belts will help the sport get bigger. Plus, they help pay these fighters. I mean, I guess. I don't know, man. Nah, I'm good. I don't want a 5th belt. It's already hard enough to get undisputed champions with 4.
Jesus Christ, you go to WBC, they got thousands of belts, all kinds of shit.
Yeah. The clean right hand's flush on his chin. My eyes are perfectly fine. Listen, man, it was few and far between. It was few and far between, champ. But you know what? We all have our opinions. I'll have to go back and rewatch that fight because I just remember. Yes, he landed a couple of good right hands. He threw a lot of punches. He threw a good amount of punches, but it wasn't like Shakur was ever in danger or anything like that.
See Oscar Valdez's face? It wasn't beautiful.
Yo, Pops, can you please go live for Jonathan Gonzalez, the first defense on Pro Box, the Puerto Rican champion? He put a match class performance against Elwin. So
when's that happening?
That's in July. I'm thinking about going. It's in Kissimmee at the Osceola, the same place we went to last time for Berlanga. I'm thinking about going. If Pro Box stacked the card, I'm thinking about going.
Yeah, you'll need to go subscribe to that channel too, because it's a good channel.
Let me see. This is where is that comment? Tito Donna, shout out to him. And by the way, if you're here, shout out to all 50 of you. Make sure you smash that like button. He says, this is the perfect storyline for Bob Arum to set a pay-per-view fight with Haney and Tszyu. There's no way Tszyu is going to let this slide. Yeah, this is great. This is good. This is great for Tszyu. This might have been George Kambosos might have
140 though, right?
George Kambosos might have just saved Tio's career.
I say if Haney fights him or whoever fights, it'll be at 140, right? Tio's not coming down.
What fighter do you feel bad for? I hate watching Burchell lose, man. His last fight was hard to watch against Nakatilia. Yeah, man. And it makes Shakur look good because, people were saying he was boring. He was running away from Nakatilia. But, man, you can see why. That boy can punch. Who do I feel bad for? Let me see. Do I feel bad for anybody? Who do I feel bad for? I'll tell you who I feel bad for. You know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for Sinisa Estrada because she's the most skilled fighter in women's boxing. You know, she's a lovely woman, and she can't get fights because of Oscar De La Hoya. All right? That's what I feel bad for. She should be on every TV screen. She should be getting 3 to 4 fights a year. But Oscar De La Hoya, they're on that bullshit. So I'm going to say that. That's my answer to that question. I know Pop's got a good laugh out of that.
Yeah.
We could possibly have 4 undisputed champs this year if we get Carr versus Fence and Fulton versus MJ Akmandalia. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I would love to see that undisputed fight at 122 because 122 is such a step-up division, so much depth, so much quality, and the fights are unlike a lot of other weight classes. Again, this is why I talk about the fights are actually happening. I'm not focused on what's not happening. I'm focused on what is happening. So and what's been happening there has been great. I was actually there when Fulton fought Figueroa. One of the best fights I've probably ever been to. Great fight. Had a great seat. Right. It was my first time sitting it was my first time going to a fight at the Park MGM, which, by the way, my favorite venue for anybody who goes to Vegas for a fight. Okay, the Park MGM, not the MGM Grand, not T-Mobile Arena, not what's the other one? Mandalay Bay. The best venue, in my opinion, is the Park MGM. It's not a lot of seats. Every seat is good. If you buy any seat somewhere in the middle of the arena, you're gonna get a great view. So. Just a little heads up tip for you guys. Yeah. If you ever go to a fight in Vegas, the fights at the Park MGM are never the biggest fights, but they're always like notable fights, like Figueroa, Fulton, things like that. So, BT loves Sneaker Estrada. Absolutely. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Tszyu didn't want to smoke with Devin. He wanted to come forward by it. That's why he chose George Kambosos. He didn't choose George. He didn't choose George. But it is what it is. BT, do you know anything about Raul Ortega? Diego Pacheco's next opponent, June 10th. I like Pacheco's style. I don't know anything about Raul Ortega, but I do know Diego was fighting, and I did see the guy's name, so I'll look into it to give you a real answer. But yeah, shout out to Diego Pacheco, one of the young stars of the 168 division, still developing as a fighter. This will be his second fight with Team Benavidez. The first fight went very well. He knocked a guy out in the first round, looked very great in San Diego on the Cholatito Martinez undercard. Right now is the way I see it. Like, out of all them guys that Eddie Hearn first signed when he came to the States, Otha Jones III, Mark Castro, Amo Williams, who was the other one? Nikita Abibi. Who else was that? I'm sure there was somebody else. Mm-hmm. I've always said I thought Diego Pacheco was the best out the guys he signed. Right now, he's neck and neck with Amo. I think Amo and him are on their own little race, to see who's the best match from USA prospect. Right. But my money's on Diego. Let me see. Shakur can fight, but he didn't look as good as they kept saying in the last fight. I'm gonna go watch it again. But I thought he looked pretty good. Why do GGG, Charlo, and Andrade want to fight Canelo? Canelo isn't even in that trash division, and those guys at 160 need to fight each other. They want to fight him for the same reason that Better be at a higher weight class wants to fight him. Breedis, all these guys, money. Is Munguia more protected than Edgar Berlanga?
Oh my God,
that's a great question. That's actually, they might be neck and neck. I can't say that Berlanga's as protected as Munguia yet. He's getting there. He's getting there. He's getting there. He doesn't have the amount of fights to say that yet, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
Munguia won his world title at 154 against a welterweight in Saddam Ali. Got his ass beat by Dennis Hogan in his hometown, in Mexico, in his home country. Got a good decision. Then he's pretty much just fought, nondescript opposition, and even the names he does fight, he doesn't fight them in their actual weight class.
Can you find Kelly or some shit now?
I'm not right now, as it stands. Munguia is the most protected fighter in boxing. But if Edgar Berlanga doesn't get better and Top Rank continues to protect him, he's not far behind. It's like they're right there.
Yeah,
they're right there. He's fighting a safe opponent.
Hey man,
in Angulo, and Angulo is a durable guy. He's gone the distance with Zudo Ramirez. He got stopped by Benavidez, but he's very limited as far as his punch selection. And yeah, so
I'm just gonna say Golden Boy's credibility's really gone down the drain.
Who?
Golden Boy in De La Hoya, as far as putting the fights that people want to see against, it's ridiculous. Look who Ramirez fought last. This guy we never heard of.
BT, do you think Marlene is so petty that she would want to make herself be the A side, since Marlene knows that Nisa wants to fight her again because of the belts, since Nisa can't get no title fights? I mean, she could try that. I don't think that would work out in her favor, because the reality is the bigger name and the fighter that means more to Golden Boy is Nisa Estrada. But what I will say is, I don't know what's going on. I know a little bit, but I don't know everything. If there is some sort of problem with Golden Boy and Sneesa, maybe Golden Boy says fuck Sneesa and they make Marlene the A side. Who knows?
It's crazy.
Who knows? Legacy is better first. Canelo already has a great established legacy at 170. 170 is on a weight class, champ. Charlo and Andrew are nothing compared to his. He never fought them, so you can't really say anything about those guys. Who do you think can give Tank a go for his money? Ryan, Devin, or Campbell? All of them. All of them. I think Tank is a very good fighter. I don't know if he's great yet. I think he's very good because he's winning these last 2 fights. He hasn't looked his best, and he's finding ways to win. And I always say that's a mark of a great fighter. If you can not look your best and still win and get the results, then that shows you're doing something good. But there are vulnerabilities there. There is a blueprint there to beat him. You just need to have the quality for all 12 rounds to do it. I think Ryan has potential to really cause Tank some serious problems with his height, his frame, his punching power. Devin as well, outboxing him. I think George Kambosos with his durability, timing, and speed could give him some problems, and obviously Tszyu. Yeah, I think all those guys can give Tank. Like I think Tank. I don't really think Tank is a great fighter. I'll be honest with you. I think he's very good. We'll see when he starts fighting those guys if he's ready for that. But like, I'm pretty much sold. Like I'm hearing all these sparring stories for years about how Tank would hop out the ring and get knocked out cold in sparring in Vegas, and he wouldn't look that good and all this stuff. I'm not gonna say who did what to him, but I just think I believe it. I believe that everything I heard about him. That's what I will say. Let me see. Brandon D. Hooker says, last question of the night, BT. Do you think PBC will make Tank versus route? And if so, who you got in that fight if it ever went down? Well, I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna actually answer that question in a very expanded way. Not only do I think that Gervonta Davis will not be fighting the guys like Tszyu, Ryan, Devin, and George, but I also think that the next 3 opponents, you can mix them and match them any way you want. I don't know what order this is going to be in, but mark my words, unless they want to really, really cherry pick, these will be the next 3 fights for Tank, and they will all be on pay-per-view, okay?
Wow.
Ryo, Michelle Rivera,
wow,
Frank Martin. Those will be his 3 fights. People aren't going to be happy with those fights, but I truly believe that those will be his 3 fights. If he's staying with the promotions, those are going to be his next 3 fights.
Before any other big guy names.
Before any of those other names. As far as Ryo is concerned, I think Ryo is very I like him. I like his mentality. I met him. He's a very nice person. But Ryo, I think Ryo has a chance to get knocked out in the same way Rolly did. Because Ryo throws upwards of 700 to 1,000 punches a fight. Very active. And the more punches you throw, the more chance you have to get countered. So I just... Yeah, I like Ryo. I hope Ryo can get a little bit more experience before he gets thrown in there with Tank. But right now, I would go with Tank by stoppage. But yeah, mix the match any way you want. Michelle Rivera, Ryo, and Frank Martin.
Wow.
Calling Haney a snitch is hilarious. Didn't this clown George work with Manny Pacquiao against Jeff Horn and Ozzy, who trained the irony? Yeah, it is irony. I didn't call him a snitch. George did. See, do you think Rolly was winning before he got knocked out? I had Rolly winning. Yeah, I did. I thought Rolly was outboxing him. I thought Rolly was boxing. It's crazy to say because I never thought, I thought it was possible, but when you actually see it happen, it's like, wow, this is really happening right now.
And I was reading about what you're saying, how he stepped into that punch to make it easier for George. Gervonta Davis to do what he did, and you called it. You told me that he walked into something, and the way he threw that punch when he got caught is because he walked into it.
Squared up. Through the right hand. Made himself a big target. Squared up. Who do you think John Ryder should fight next? I would love to see John Ryder fight anybody. I like John. I'm a John Ryder fan.
Canelo.
No. Fuck that. No. Who should he fight next? 168 pounders. No, I'm trying to think. You know what? Anybody, really. Berlanga. How about that? If Berlanga can beat if Edgar Berlanga can beat Romero Alexis Angulo, I want to see John Ryder versus Berlanga because I think that's a step up like 2 levels from Angulo. So
Berlanga and Morel.
No, hell no.
Morel break him down quick.
Oh, all right, Sly. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah,
sparring doesn't translate to the big fights. The big stage under those lights makes a difference, and I agree with that. I never said it did, but I'm gonna say this: if you ain't durable in sparring, Like if you consistently, if you sparring tall guys, short guys, skinny guys, experienced guys, non-experienced guys, and you get hurt by all of them, gotta question that durability just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a point. I truly believe the knockout shots of Willie Bell tank out. Willie got killed and got caught. He brought a great fight. He did.
He did.
I'm kind of upset. I'm a little bit upset because I really wanted to see. I really wanted to see the back half of that fight.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what would have happened.
Right.
You know. So my thing is this: we need to see Rolly get like 2 solid wins. Maybe we could say. Like, I want to see Rolly versus Chris Colbert. I like that fight. That'd be a good comeback fight for both men. They both come off of a loss. I know what you want to say. I can see it in your face. They both talk. They both dislike each other. Winner of that fight can fight. Maybe like I don't know, someone else.
Yeah.
Oh snap! It took long enough, but we got our first super chat. So you guys know the deal. When the super chats come out, so does Don King. So Don King, go ahead and talk to him.
Hey everybody, let's have some fun. You don't live but once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. It don't matter whether you're young or old. Let the good times roll.
So they have a shout out to Usam for the super chat. He's back. He says, "Fuck Canelo forever." Shout out to BT and Pops. Keeping it real as always. I will whoop one fighter in Canelo's gym. Mark my words. If they let me in, I want any smoke. 150 to 170, and I will talk trash. Yeah, for those that don't know, Usam's from Canada. He's going to San Diego for the summer. He wants to go to Canelo's gym. I got my ways about getting him there, so I'm gonna give him some. I'm gonna be an informant. And I'm gonna give him some information on how to get to that gym because it's very hard to find, but I know where it's at. And we're gonna do that. And I told Usam, he bought one of those Canelo Exposed by Bivol t-shirts on Teespring. He bought a red one.
I gotta buy.
All right.
Wait, I'm buying a black.
He bought a red one. So I told him to go wear it when he spars and have someone film it.
Boxes?
Yeah, he boxes. Usam boxes.
Oh, so he's going for the knockout.
Yeah, he's trying to. Yeah, so hey, dude, go ahead.
Shout out.
Did
you see Pascal against Fang Long?
Yeah, of course. Usam, me and Usam are part of the John Pascal fan club. But yeah, shout out to Usam, one of my top favorite subscribers.
Yeah.
Love talking to him, knows his boxing, and always keeps it a buck. So yeah, thank you for the super chat, man. God bless.
God bless.
The level of now that Tank fans have to see a dude lose every second every round say he's one of the most skilled. He's not. He really isn't. He's a little solid. He's a solid skill. He's above average. I'm not gonna say he's great. He's not Shakur Stevenson. He's not Bivol. He's not he's not Andre. He's not those guys. But he's a good. He's got a good amateur background, good boxing foundation. But he's not no special pure boxer. We'll just put it like that. Tank, yeah. Ryder versus Canelo can happen. Canelo wants to fight in the UK, but Berlanga won't fight Ryder. He will lose bad. I want to see it. Because my thing is this, you can only baby Berlanga for so long. At some point, you have to put him in a fight. You have to, what did Amir Khan used to say to Kell Brook? He's got to fight a big name, He's got
to do that, but I think before you win that, you better go back to learn
Sink or swim. Sink or swim.
Yeah, he's got to show skills. He can't just go there for a power punch and take somebody around.
Sink or swim.
It's not going to happen.
So, I look, Ryder versus Canelo, it'd be a cool fight because, Ryder has kind of the short, stocky frame of Canelo as well. It'd be crazy if that fight happened and Ryder want to beat Canelo, but I personally, for me, I want, if Berlanga looks great against Angulo, which I have my questions about that, I want to see him fight John Ryder. That's what I want to see.
Wow, that's a big step up.
Yeah.
What would that do for Ryder? Nothing, right?
Do a lot for him because if he fights him,
Berlanga don't got shit.
Berlanga is one of the most hyped up young fighters in boxing. To have that scalp on your resume would be he would get a huge fight after that. Okay, if he would beat him, if he hasn't already got Canelo. Right. Shout out to BT and Pops, the best on YouTube. That's right, Homo Boxing. We don't touch him with True School Sports Empire. We here, man. Yeah, we here. Make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Definitely. Definitely super chat.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Rolly versus Issa Cruz would be a good fight. Who do you think would win? It's a hell of a fight. I think I think Rolly could outbox Esau Cruz. I really think he could. Only punch you gotta defend is that overhand right. If you can defend the overhand right, he wins the fight. But we'll see. Mm-hmm. Pascal smoked the Chinese virus out of his ass. Fan Long Meng was a -300. Has a -300 social credit score now. Pascal, the OG of the fight game. Montreal, real city. We have killers here. Absolutely.
That's right.
Shout out to.
Been around for a minute too, right?
I love Pascal.
Yeah.
Joe Smith Jr. or Zotto. Woo! Now that'd be a fight. If we can make that happen with Joe Smith and Zotto,
God.
I love that fight.
Yeah.
I'll go with Zotto. But man, be a hell of a fight. Tank will refuse a straight rematch. Rolly has to make an example out of UFC fighters to position himself for rematch. Much credit to Tank, but anybody who knows boxing knows Rolly was on his ass. He was.
Yeah.
He was. And we know, listen, I like Tank. I'm a fan of him. Met him. I've actually been to a couple of his fights. One as a prospect and one as now he's a star. So I like him. Really do like him. I'm a fan. But he didn't want to give Cruz a rematch. You heard what he said when asked about the Esau Cruz rematch. He said, hell no. Rolly, this fight was like the highest selling fight ever at the Barclays Center. Like ever in the 40 plus 50 events they did. Okay.
Rolly.
And
kudos to Rolly.
you don't really see him on
6 rounds until that knockout down. And I don't think he wants no part of him.
Yeah. Ryder versus Andre. Oh my God. You know what?
Wow.
That's the fight I want. Andre versus Ryder. You know what? Hey.
That's a good point.
We need Andre versus Ryder. I like that fight too.
Go across the pond. Who's gonna go across the pond for
Parker? Go across the pond for Ryder.
Yeah.
One of the most underrated 68 pounders out there. John Ryder. People don't give him his credit, but I think he beat Callum Smith. Anybody who watched that fight knows that. He beat Jacobs. So yeah. They are Ernie, but I'm just there's a couple of fighters that I think would fight him. I think Johnny Beck would fight him, and I think if John Ryder had the opportunity to, he'd fight him. Rolly is the wilder of the lightweights. His physicality and he does awkward stuff in the ring mixed with the athleticism would give trouble to anyone. Yeah, if you I'm gonna for once agree with Leonard Ellerby. Leonard
Ellerby.
Yeah, he said one thing this weekend I agree with. He said if you can't punch, you gotta beat Rolly, and I actually agree with that. I've hated everything about Rolly for a while. The amount he's improved over these past fights is remarkable. He definitely has a chance to come back at Tank down the line. I think so. I think.
But I just said that he's not gonna go up.
You know what was crazy? Stacey McKinley actually posted a stat. I guess he went ahead and watched the fight. He said that he thinks with the right training, Rolly could be champion. No doubt about it.
Wow.
That's a guy that's been around for a long time. He knows his boxing.
Trained Mike Tyson and so
trained. He trained the guy that everybody compares Rolly to, Mayorga. So
that's true.
Ryder is a handful for Canelo at this point, man. I'm telling you, if that fight ever did get made, I'm gonna be fanboying so hard for John. I love John Ryder because John Ryder, he's against all. He really is against all the odds. He really should be. He really should be a champion. He should have been a champion already when he beat what's his name? Smith. They didn't give it to him because they wanted that Canelo fight, but beat Smith. In my eyes, he beat Smith and Jacobs. He beat two of the wins that all the Canelo fans say is the best, that stuff. Problem with boxing is if you're not a slick boxer or you're not a hard puncher and you have a style that's not any of those things, then people say you suck. It happened in the 90s when James Toney he fought Dave Tiberi, right? Dave Tiberi had a very similar style to a John Ryder, a guy that really didn't punch the hardest. He wasn't really that slick, but had great stamina. He would just grind you down. And James Toney fought Dave Tiberi in a fight that was such the odds. There were no odds. That's how much the fight was. James Toney was expected to beat Tiberi. They fought for the IBF title, I think, at 160, 168. And Tiberi beat the piss out of freaking James Toney. They robbed Tiberi. And he didn't get a chance to become champion. It was so bad they had to go to U.S. Congress.
Wow. What?
Yeah, people don't know about this shit. They had to go to U.S. Congress.
Fight for the
and Tiberi was protesting his loss in U.S. Congress against James Toney.
Did he win?
They were saying that they were going to give Tiberi a rematch, but Tiberi only said, "I'm only taking a rematch if you give me the title and you take the loss of my record," and they wouldn't do that. So then after that he retired from boxing. The James Toney fight was his last fight ever.
Sound like Lionel Thompson with his thing.
Yeah, so
But if Ryder and Andre will fight, who you got favorite?
Who I would obviously favor Andre, but I think that would be a tough fight.
Yeah.
We saw like when Andre fought.
Who's got more power?
Andre. I don't know. Andre just we don't know how his power's gonna carry up.
Yeah.
But I want to see that. That'd be a good first fight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, BT, but Canelo beat the shit out of Ryder. Ryder is better when he fights someone taller. I don't know when he fights someone on the same size as him. Well, he looked pretty, even though he lost, he looked pretty good when he fought Billy Joe Saunders.
And Ryder looked good against Callum Smith too.
No, but Callum was way taller than him.
Yeah.
He's saying he was good against taller guys.
Okay.
Yeah, the shortest guy he's fought recently that I remember watching a fight was Mike Guy. That was probably the worst he looked in a while. But why is Ryder getting a free shot Canelo without having to fight any Andre, Charlo, or Benavidez? Because he already fought Saunders, Smith, Jacobs, and a whole host of other guys. And on top of that, Canelo has already openly expressed that he wants to fight in the UK, so he's going to be one of the opponents that he looks at if he wants to fight in the UK. That's why he's getting this shot. Is it fair? No. Should Andre get this shot? Yes. Should Benavidez get the shot? I guess so. Yeah, he should, because people want to see that fight. But, you know,
boxing's crazy.
Boxing's crazy. Yeah, the irony. It is irony.
Mm-hmm.
Kambosos beat Haney. Kambosos beats Haney. The first 4th, 5th round will be competitive. Later, Haney will lose the fight. Will lose his fast switch and begin to slow down and slide. Kambosos will not. Cam will maintain speed, power, and win. That's how I really feel. But you know, I'm just gonna watch the fight.
Who's got the rematch clause? Is that for both fighters or just for Kambosos?
I know George had a rematch. Berlanga is suspect. I think what you see, he has power. I'm waiting for my Puerto Rican, but man, they ain't making the Lakota, Trinidad, or Macho Camacho no more. It looks like no, they're not. You know, to be fair though, this past weekend there was a pretty talented Puerto Rican fighter who looked really good in this fight. Looked pretty good in this fight against Eduardo Ramirez and Luis Melendez, and they robbed the shit out of him. So maybe he could have been. He might still be able to become a star, but now it's a harder road now because they robbed him.
How you say, brother, when you see what they're talking to ears?
When I saw Samson talking to,
who's it's around?
That's what I'm saying. John Ryder has fought better fighters than Charlo and Benavidez. Exactly. John Ryder, one of the best 168 pounders in the world. I don't care if nobody laughs at me. It's the stone cold truth. He's actually tested himself, won, and looked good against top fighters.
The Gorilla's a hidden secret that people don't know nothing about or don't want to give him.
Ryder's volume and pressure will give him a lot of trouble. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When he doesn't start crying, come on, Devin. Haney's going to whoop Kambosos when he doesn't start crying. I don't think Melendez was robbed. It was a close fight. The scorecard was atrocious, too wide. Nah, bro.
What did he say?
No. There was a clear winner. It was Luis Melendez. Eduardo Ramirez didn't even get started till like round 4 or 5. Yeah. I'm gonna say 5. And there's no way in hell he won all around the back half of the fight. The wrong guy won. Either way you cut it up, slice it and dice it, the wrong guy won. Mm-hmm. And this is true. We do have a great Puerto Rican fighter. His name is Shakur Stevenson.
That's right.
Yeah. And yeah, Valor is right. James Toney later on admitted that he lost to Dave Tiberi like 10 to 20 years later. He admitted. So, you know.
So he gave his props.
But anybody go watch that fight and go read the articles. Go read what happened to Dave Tiberi.
Hey, man, you going deep.
Yeah. Enough smart people are talking. I'm not so sure about Devin. I mean, look, we'll see.
I'm riding with Kambosos.
But that's the problem with boxing. They all fight low level talent. Listen, all these guys who are, I'm not gonna say all, but like 98% of the guys who are undefeated for prolonged periods of time haven't fought nobody. And the guys who be having 2, 3, 4 losses, those are the guys that are legit. I.e. John Ryder, i.e. Charlatito, i.e. even Jermell Charlo, he lost the fight.
And a lot of times too, a lot of these fighters get fighters that are they fight the weight class. And they get credit for it without actual fans knowing about it.
Yeah. Well, SGSS1. And by the way, shout out to all 50 of you here. Make sure you guys smash that like button and definitely subscribe if you're new and all that good stuff. If Romo Gonzalez and Boo Boo fought on the same night, which fight would you watch and attend? That's not even a question.
We're going to talk about the same card. We're going to watch them both.
Well, wait. Who's it depends on who the opponent is, because okay. You gotta tell me who's fighting who. If Charlatito's fighting like the monster Inoue, I'm going to that fight. Okay, If he's fighting Dan Rodriguez, I'm going to that fight. If he's fighting Rung Vasai in the third fight, I'm going to that fight. But if Boo Boo's fighting Canelo, or if Boo Boo's fighting Benavidez, or someone like that, or John Ryder in England, you got to tell me the scenario. Mm-hmm. But if you're saying in general, Chocolatito. Chocolatito, my favorite fighter. I've been to 4 of his fights. Every time I've gone to a fight of his, it's been the best experience every time. You know? Yeah, but how good is Porter really? How good is Sean Porter? He's a 2-division champion. He's a 2-division champion. Gave all the toughest guys at welterweight great fights. I thought he beat Porter. I mean, he beat Thurman. You know?
What's happening with Thurman? Anything with him?
Here he says, would you go to see Chocolatito versus the Monster or Boo Boo or the Boo Boo versus Canelo fight? I'm definitely going to see Chocolatito versus the Monster. That's the fight. That anybody who knows me knows that that's the number 1 fight in the history of the sport. When we talk about fantasy fights, that's the one I wanted to see the most. So yeah. as much as you guys heard me talk about Andre versus Canelo, I'm going to watch the Monster versus Chocolatito. That's a better fight. Kambosos versus Haney. Official Undisputed Light will be fire. Props both guys. Yeah, it's going to be a great night of boxing. Absolutely. You know, it's hard to win against Kambosos. He's durable and he keeps coming. Devin is a massive boxer. Ain't no way he's going to get a decision in Australia. It's close.
Who else is on the undercard besides them two? They're Australian fighters?
Terry Nicholas.
Who? Is he a golfer?
No, he's
I'm just joking.
He's one of George's because ferocious promotions are starting up. You know, this is one of George's fighters.
Oh. I want to see this cat that your boy was talking about.
Harry Garside?
Yeah, Harry Garside. I heard he's pretty good.
Yeah. We'll see, man.
So we don't know nobody else on the card?
Let's check the card. So let's check the card. Let's check the card because Pops wants to know who's on this damn undercard of George versus Kambosos. I like how ESPN.
Can't be no worse than Eddie Hearn sometimes match from sometimes when he was asleep.
Let me see. Earl and Crawford are the only clean undefeated fighters challenging themselves like that. So Stephen Fulton isn't clean. Demetrius Andrade isn't clean.
He pays for the opponent.
Archer better BF isn't clean. Come on, man. Don't be so damn short-sighted. All right, so undercard. Let's see undercard at the Marvel Stadium. Oh, you got Jason Maloney. He's fighting on this card. You got
the Maloney brothers
Junior Fa, Amari Jones. He's a Devin Haney Promotions fight. I know Amari.
Both Maloney's are fighting, I think.
That's it. Yeah, that's the card right there. Jason Maloney versus Aston Police. I can't even say his name. They're fighting for the WBC silver bantamweight title.
The Browns washed up.
Yeah, but Junior Fa isn't that good, so it's a decent fight.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know much of these opponents. These are like Australians, so
okay.
I know who Amari Jones is because he's in Vegas.
Right.
He's Devin's like best friend, one of the best friends. So not a great undercard. Not a great undercard. It's one. When we go live for this fight and watch the undercard, we're gonna be doing a lot of talking about other things while the fights are going on. So,
so you hear whatever question you want to ask on the fight.
Jesus Pizarro says, at this point, I'm on the Kambosos versus Devin Haney undercard.
There you go.
That's right. Venom, what's good? Chemi says, what up, guys? Who fights the winner of Kambosos versus Haney after the second fight? Do you think there will be a trilogy? I don't
know about trilogy.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. If George wins, I don't think there will be a rematch. I'll be honest with you. If George wins in emphatic fashion, especially, there won't be a rematch. Devin wins, there'll be a rematch. As far as like who will fight the winner, I can say who it's not going to be. It's not going to be Tank. But I have a strong belief if there was someone that's going to fight one of those guys, I'm gonna go with Ryan. I've always felt. I felt when the Tego fight got made, I felt like they were trying to use Tego as a pawn to make the Ryan fight. They have that working relationship still with Lou DiBella and Peter Khan. So I just think Ryan versus Kambosos
is gonna happen. Yeah.
There's a certain channel who is hating on you right now because they are depressed that their hero Canelo got beat. The channel is mad because you said Chocolatito has a better resume than Canelo. Well, I don't know who that is because I don't really watch a ton of channels. I personally don't even give a fuck who it is, to be honest with you. I just worry about what I got to do. Like right now, I'm live. And then after this, I'm going to fold my clothes. Yeah. And then after that, tomorrow, I'm going to go to sleep and go to the gym.
And keep in mind, if they're talking about us,
God bless them.
God bless them.
You know? Yeah, I mean, hey, if they're in love with Canelo, that's a personal problem. You know, they can't listen. If they live vicariously to Canelo and they want to make Canelo their boyfriends, and they get mad over an opinion and me trolling the shit out of the boxing world, or with the Canelo exposed by Bivol name. That's on them, champ. Life goes on.
Hey, and tell them if they want the best shirts from Canelo, they know to come to.
Tell them tell them to go to the True School Sports Teespring store and cop them a Canelo exposed by Bivol
the best shirts of Canelo.
Devin has to beat Kambosos twice in Australia. Like, what the fuck? One is then he has to win very convincingly both times, so he'll get robbed. And I'll tell you this: if Devin does that, I mean, put the man in the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's like this: if Devin beats Kambosos, then he has to fight him again. Basically, what you're saying. But if Kambosos win, then there's only one fight. So either way, everything's against Devin.
George Kambosos signed the Canelo of Australia. He's stacking the odds. He's stacking that deck.
I mean, let's be realistic here, Brandon. Kambosos went through a lot of shit too, so he just giving the same medicine. I'm sorry, it has to be somebody thrown in the fire, and it had to be Devin Haney, but he just giving back to people what they gave to him.
Yeah, man. You know, I washed my clothes yesterday. I got my clothes sitting right over there, and I gotta be up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. By the time this live is done, it'll probably be like midnight or close to midnight because it's 11:43 right now. I gotta fold these clothes, so I'm looking at maybe getting 3.5 to 4 hours of sleep before I go work out, and then start my day, and then come back here.
When he finishes with you guys, do it again. I was working on 3 or 4 hours working on videos.
So yeah, it's very important.
His job never stops.
GGG will walk out to the September with a Canelo exposed by Bivol t-shirt. You know what? We gotta get GGG a Canelo exposed by Bivol t-shirt. I gotta start making some phone calls. I gotta get a team GGG.
Yeah, he would love that.
Get him a shirt. Jesus needs to chill. I don't know what he's talking about. I gotta listen to find out why you don't like Benavidez. I've already stated this many times, but I don't like Benavidez. Well, first of all, I like watching him fight. It's just I don't like this hype and this how feared he is. You know, everybody's saying everyone's scared of. Nobody's scared of Benavidez. No one. Like nobody's scared of Benavidez. Benavidez is the one that avoided Caleb Plant and Beterbiev.
I'm a big fan of.
That is a fact. That is a fact. He loves Benavidez. I keep telling him as time goes on.
One of the sticking points. Two things that I learned from Benavidez. One, he pumped out when Benavidez got slapped a few years ago by Plant. He just stick up for his brother. I don't like that. And two, when you went out to 175, you automatically went right back down to 168.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do the Mexicans still go for GGG? Do they still supposed for him, or have they switched to Canelo yet? LMAO. Honestly, JG, my opinion is that they're not really supporting any of them. I feel like all the fans of Canelo went to Benavidez after he lost to Bivol because legit, I've always had these opinions about Benavidez, but for whatever reason, now when I say it's like, what?
Yeah.
You don't love Benavidez? I'm like, no.
When BT goes to Grain,
no, hell no.
I like Benavidez. I think he's a live dog.
Do you know what will get me on Benavidez's side? Like the minute he does this, like the same shit I say about Canelo if he signs a contract to fight Andrade, I'm putting that same thing on Benavidez.
You need to shoot an email.
All he gotta do.
Maybe you have to shoot an email to Luke.
All he gotta do is move up to 175. I don't even care if he fights a bum. Just move up to 175 and start campaigning. You're wasting time.
Who do you want him to fight 175? His first fight, honestly.
His first fight?
He can't fight the top.
Fight Callum Smith. He's there. He just got a big knockout against Castillo.
He'll beat the shit out of Callum Smith.
I mean, Callum Smith's a Buddy McGirt now, so he might have realized that he's 6'3" or 4 now.
Yeah.
So you don't know. Callum Smith, who knows? But there's definitely a lot of fights. Callum Smith.
But I'm just saying this. He needs to create his legacy before his time runs out.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're waiting for a paycheck. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Dimitri Bivol, the next Bruce Lee. Damn right. Let's go.
He ain't playing.
May 4th says, I like y'all. Y'all have a refreshing vibe to boxing. I'm subscribing ASAP. Much love to you,
Thank
champ.
you, man. God bless.
God bless.
Man.
Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Untouchable. We'll be here tomorrow as well.
Appreciate it.
Big fan of Tank. He stays at Mayweather Promotions, BBC Showtime. I fear we're going to get Rivera. I'm telling you guys, the 3 fights we're getting next in order. All right, unless they want to really, really cherry pick outside this. But in all likelihood, the 3 fights we're getting next, and mind you, they're all going to be pay-per-view. So have either your VIP roll link ready or your $75 ready.
What?
Okay.
What do you think about
Michelle Rivera, Frank Martin, Ryan Valenzuela?
How good is Frank Martin?
We don't know. Good southpaw, very athletic, but he hasn't.
Has he been proven?
No. The biggest win came against a guy that His biggest win so far came against a guy that Ryan Garcia already knocked out one round. That was Romero Duno.
And how about Michelle Rivera?
Rivera's been getting some good wins. One of the best jabs at 135, but still think,
And Ryo.
Still not an experience.
So basically,
the most
Michelle Rivera is probably the most credible one you're thinking.
Yeah.
And if it makes sense, it might not happen.
Let me see. Hold on. He says, yeah, but you guys don't get robbed. Look at Tszyu and Kambosos' fight when it was in America. A close fight. They could have easily robbed him and gave it to Tszyu, but didn't. This is very, very true. I'm surprised they didn't. What's up? What's up, Pops and BT? Hope you fellas well. Benavidez going to move up to 175. Bigger fights for him there because Charlo, Plant, and Canelo ain't fighting him. Boo got to go back to 160. And I agree with all of that because Benavidez, Plant, and Charlo aren't going to fight Boo for whatever, whether it's them or the managers or the wives or whatever the fuck it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be something. It's going to be something, all right?
But if Boo goes back to 160, who is he going to fight there?
Johnny Bet, because he has to, because if he doesn't fight by November 17th, he loses his belt.
Who's the top dog at 160?
Nobody knows because nobody's fought each other.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Frank Martin would smoke Ryan Garcia. We'll see, man.
Is he that good?
He's just very athletic. He's very athletic. He's very explosive. I don't know how good he is yet.
I gotta watch. I heard his name and I seen talk about it here, so I gotta go check him out.
Yeah, people thought Roy didn't even deserve to be in the ring with freaking Gervonta Davis, and
man, he is supposed to.
He looked like he did deserve to be there.
I mean, Tank Davis fans, and I like Tank Davis too, but I'm saying if you guys are blinded and don't give no credit to Broly for what he did for the first 6 rounds before he got knocked down, there's something wrong with you. Listen, because Tank wasn't doing a lot.
Anybody out there?
And I'm just calling it the way I see it. Tank wasn't doing shit.
Anybody out there who's holding out this hope that Gervonta Davis is going to fight a guy like Shakur Stevenson or the winner of Kambosos-Haney or Ryan Garcia or Teofimo Lopez, ain't none of them shits happening. Rob Valenzuela, Frank Martin, and Michelle Rivera. You guys best start watching them fighters fights and study them up because those are the guys that Tank's gonna be fighting. Michelle Rivera, and it's so plain to see if you're paying attention. Michelle Rivera has been fighting on PBC cards for a while. I think he signed to Samson as well.
Is he?
I believe he is. Well, he just signed an exclusive deal with Al Heyman, which is different than just fighting on PBC cards. He signed directly with Al Heyman, which probably means within the next 6 months, 6 to 8 months, Michelle Rivera is getting a fight with Tank. Mm-hmm. No ifs, ands, buts about it.
What's funny about this is what my son was telling me. Like, if you think realistically about the fight that's going to happen, then it will actually happen right away.
So I'm saying that's why
my son told me I could not be a manager or I cannot be a trainer.
He can't.
Because I'm too honest about
maybe a trainer, but not a manager.
He said because he was telling me like you can't be like you don't know the whole way thinking the dark side.
It's very political.
Yeah, so
it's political.
So when he says he calls these fighters out, he's not just telling you because he picked up from the media. He knows he understands it. Because I'm opposite. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna like you guys. Oh, he's gonna fight the better fighters. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that. But and he says a lot of fights, not just this one talking right now. He told me before, no, Dad, this is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And lo and behold, that's why I don't like when they say stuff about any sports because it always comes true.
Rivera was told by the WBA that he was next for Tank. Exactly. And, Michelle Rivera has one of the most powerful managers in boxing around him and Samson Lukowicz. Yeah. So it's going to happen. We saw what the power of Samson could do with Lewis Melendez fought on the undercard this weekend.
That was crazy, man. Oh, man. Better told you for the ring. He said something's not going to...
Samson, man, I got to give it to him, though, man. He really has people who actually think Benavidez is a feared fighter.
I don't think nobody's fearing him. I just think,
I was surprised at Rolly with his boxing. He was boxing better than he ever was in any of his fights. I told everyone, even though he lost, I told everyone, I know what I'm talking about. I seen Rolly in the gym. Rolly still hasn't, even in that fight, he still hasn't put it all together yet.
No.
He can box, and I've seen him outbox dudes easily in the gym.
Who was just telling you that he could be champion?
Stacey McKinley.
And he trained Mike Tyson and so forth.
Carl Mayorga, Michael Nunn, who's who boxing. Remember the Klitschko Fury fight, 67 punches or something like that? If they'd been Teamsters, they would have got sent home at lunch. The facts.
What did he say?
Well, basically he's saying that the Klitschko Fury fight was boring and they didn't throw them any punches. I like that fight.
I like that fight.
I'm a boxing nerd only because Tyson Fury just beat him.
Nobody expected him to win. He wasn't favorite to win.
He fainted him to death.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps coming in here and repeating the same lines. By Kambosos' own logic, he's a rat. It didn't help. Pacquiao versus Horn. Didn't he help Pacquiao versus Horn? Yeah, he that did happen. But guess what? You know what? That doesn't matter because George ain't gonna tell you that part. George is doing this to get Devin riled up,
get in his mind.
Now, my man Delo Vala says Rolly won 1 round. So clearly scoring fights is not his thing. It's all good, champ. We all can't score fights. You know, if you think Tank just pivoting around the ring and circling to his right for 3.5 rounds,
He didn't do shit.
you know, is winning rounds, that's not how you win rounds, champ.
But God bless you in your opinion.
No, that's what it is. But look, guys, look. On that note, look, I'm gonna have to wrap this live up because it's about to be midnight in about 8 minutes here. I gotta fold these damn clothes. I gotta get my gym clothes ready for tomorrow. I gotta prepare for the day ahead tomorrow and tomorrow's live and all the other. I got 6 videos I gotta edit. All right. So on that note, guys, look, it was been great talking to you. We'll have a lot more to discuss as the fight gets closer. Make sure you guys come to the live fight reaction on Saturday because we're gonna be live for both fights. Fulton versus Roman and Kambosos versus Haney. So please join us for that. Continue to support the channel. You know, if you're new, subscribe because we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. And yeah, you know, we'll be at Better BF Smith June 18th. Me and Pops, New York City. So if you're in New York City, if you're gonna be there at the Hulu Theater, we will be there as well. But on that note, you guys take care. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time.